Last we left off, you were faced by a final challenge in the Lady of Pain's prison labyrinth to slay a beast of mist and shadow. In a challenging display of tactics and positioning, you managed to overcome the beast as it shifted in and out of the wind-filled arena, and you fought back from the brink of death against its frigid, shadowy breath, and found victory. Finally, your perseverance and exhaustion was at an end as the Lady of Pain welcomed you in to speak. The lady presented your victories and her admiration of your skill and honor, and exchanged the acquired medallions found throughout the labyrinth for the aid that you had sought, each in turn becoming the weapon, affliction, a path home, and the power to return Valentine to life once more. Finally, for your actions in your final challenge, the lady offered one final concession for aid, and you asked for a way to help you in your infiltration of the garrison house, to which you were granted several vials of ethereal oil to help you get in or get out with enough prep time. Along with this final gift, the lady added a cryptic direction for you to best succeed, before finally dismissing your crew with an ominously auspicious send-off, and returned you to second chances once more. Here immediately you used the aid provided to empower a ritual to return Valentine to life, and once more the wildcards were full. Together, you have much to discuss, days dwindling to accomplish your tasks, and several critical fights that loom ahead of you, as we begin tonight at the end of your finally completed long rest, as you awake in the late afternoon, as you had gone to bed about 7 a.m. and are now waking up. It's hard to tell, but it's mid-afternoon towards late afternoon, 3-4 p.m. in the afternoon. Everyone awakes. What are you doing?
Just from my little notes here, let me write it down. What level of exhaustion would Val be at from having that resurrection?
It's not technically exhaustion. It's a -4 to every roll.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. And then once you sleep, you get so yeah. -4, right?
So he's still -4 after this because it basically just happened. So going forward, yes. So -4 for now. So in theory,
could say. Oh, sorry, keep going.
I was just gonna say, in theory, I would say it's Valentine is going to be bedridden for the next day or a couple of days, honestly, because just based on the prolonged repose, it's like it's not as easy as coming back. Not that coming back from the dead is easy, but this is an added step and an added couple of days. So I think it would be fair to say he should be bedridden. Can still talk. You can still basically do any of your simpler things. If you're going to cast any spells or do anything active for more than an hour, I would say you would gain exhaustion, or that -4 will not decrease after a long rest. You would exert yourself too much.
I like that.
So there is an element to, one, keeping Boone in play, and two, choosing the moments if Valentine is needed to know that there's a heavy cost to it.
I like that a lot.
Okay.
If Boone is still with Doc, and if we're in our little suite, Val could just wake up and stretch and look at all the rest of them.
Yeah, I would say basically at the end of the resurrection, the wildcards all gathered around Valentine, and then shortly after you all kind of went to your beds and just crashed. Boone and Doc had gone downstairs. Now, Boone obviously is still much in need of rest, but you guys had dismissed yourselves for a time. You caught Doc up on what had happened, but of course you and Doc would probably return, and Doc would likely just sit in the common area on a watch, just waiting to see how everyone's doing. And Boone, of course, you can crash in here as well. So everyone at this point, collectively, both of Scott's characters and the rest of the wild cards,
let's fucking do it. Carve out 45 minutes for me to talk about both of them, back and forth conversation
in the late afternoon with the newly acquired items to discuss, and a lot of planning to do.
As Val, can I at least have collapsed on the couch or something in a common room?
Sure.
Yeah, just so everyone's not crowding the bedroom. As Val, I'll look at that Vorpal blade affliction. It's just kind of sitting maybe on the coffee table of this spot. Who's gonna use that?
Depends on how it works and what it's needed for specifically.
Looks like it's good at killing and doing a lot of damage.
I don't remember if it was properly identified.
You told us about it,
I told,
but I don't think we know about it.
yeah. Okay.
I think from what you've told us at the end of the game, maybe even out of game, I don't remember when you kind of capped things off. You read it off for us, and we're like, yeah, I mean, Val can like take 10 minutes and identify it, and then we can all know. I think is what we kind of said, and then we'd know that information, but we didn't actually play that out.
Well, let's say that is what happens now. As you guys are kind of waking up, Val, like, doing a ritual, and it's such a low-level spell, I wouldn't say this is something that would put you over the edge here. But it you find it, if you're okay with doing this kind of ritual, or even casting just the spell, I would say you find it surprisingly challenging for something you've done so many times. It is surprisingly challenging to like maintain focus and to pull on the magic that is granted you, and through your natural skill. It's really like trying to pull something rather than natural anymore. And yeah, it's surprising for such a low level spell how difficult and winded you are at the end of it. However, it does succeed, and you are able to find, I'll recap it here, that it is indeed a longsword, but is a versatile and finesse weapon. So it can be wielded in two hands, it can be wielded one-handed, and it can be wielded in its strength or dexterity base, as long as you have proficiency with longswords. It is in that, it's a katana style, so it is, in my head, a little bit more flexible. It's a +3 weapon. It ignores resistance to slashing damage, just a natural resistance to slashing damage. And if when you attack a creature that has at least one head and roll a 20 on the attack roll, you cut off that creature's head. The creature dies if it can't survive without that head. A creature is immune to this effect if it is immune to slashing damage, if it doesn't need that head for whatever purpose. Some creatures don't. If it has legendary actions, which limits some big bads, or if I decide that the creature is too big for one swipe to have cut through the entire head. In that case, if any of those cases where the natural 20 doesn't cut off the head instant kill, it still does an additional 68, which it counts to the critical. So it's still a big ton of damage in the cases that it doesn't get that instant kill. You still deal a fuckload of damage.
And that's just a nat 20?
Nat 20.
Oof, my God.
Wow.
That's the full thing. So it is a legendary item, and it does require attunement.
Okay.
So that would be the last thing. The one thing I'll give you, kind of the flavor of it that doesn't necessarily count into the mechanics. The blade is finely crafted, and that kind of purple edge to it, the bladed edge, is not metal, but it is a crystalline bladed edge. And then the back of it is this perfectly shining metallic structure, and that edge does kind of come down into the hilt ever so slightly, but the blade itself is this crystal that, with the identify, doesn't necessarily identify what it is, but it is oddly like extra planar. Like there's like an unidentified element to that crystal.
Affliction. Well, I'm certainly not going to use it. That's not really my style.
I think we got this. I mean, honestly, it kind of sounds like a riddle, which is pretty par for the lady, it seems. She gave us some
Did Hondo try and have sex with her?
No, I think he talked about
Why?
potentially trying to make a deal with her a couple times, but he also kept calling her the queen instead of the lady, and I hope she didn't hear that.
That tracks.
No, I don't even know that we met her, because she's like the size of a mountain. We met some kind of avatar or
Like Aang? Or Korra?
God damn it, Scott. No, it was like a representation of her. She seems to honestly seems like she kind of likes fucking with people, but then playing it off as this is a test and it's all fancy and upstanding. It was a fucking shit show. It's been a really insane 24 hours. Not that you haven't also been through a ridiculously rough 24 hours.
Yeah.
Frankly. But she gave us this advice riddle thing. I actually have it written down here. That I think kind of mentions this blade, which might tell us what we need to do, and then maybe who should hold it. Beneath the miser drake's nest or rest. Rest. Lay that which is impenetrable by simple mind nor steel, unwavering bastion and stalwart shield guards the beating heart of coin, which I'm assuming is the general. The shard-honed edge, which is the sword, wet with the blood of the first, imagine the general, shall strike thrice the heart kept safe. Only then shall the eternally stated taste mortality.
Sated,
sorry. Yes, I corrected
Wow.
that and I got rid of the T. It sounds like potentially the general, whether it's a literal heart or some kind of figurative something, is hidden, and we have to kill it before we can kill him.
That makes sense.
Maybe the underworld knows more about it.
You mean Horus?
Horus
You
or
guys-
contacts or...
Have you guys been connecting a lot?
Oh,
Playing catch or stuff like that?
Fighting in the sewers. Yep.
He
Yeah.
hooked me up with some dynamite, and we're supposed to lead a revolution against the general.
Jesus. Okay. Well, they usually
There's a
come out
lot.
at night, and I feel like it's going to switch soon, so we could hit up with them.
Oh,
Boone
supposed to
will
be?
interrupt.
I have actually, the DM is going to interrupt. You guys do have are intended to meet with Phantom again at midnight.
Okay.
That was something that was, you had basically met, we'll meet again the next night, and then you guys got sucked into the ladies' labyrinth.
Was Phantom finding us for that meeting, or were we going back to that?
Horus was to find you and bring you to wherever Phantom was, or bring Phantom to you. It was kind of left, because you guys kind of left in a fight, so it was kind of left ambiguous, but you imagine Horus left you guys to say, like, I'll figure it out. So continue.
Boone will interrupt and be like, when we did that scry, remember we saw some with scales moving near Kellic, that dwarf who was putting plates on something. Maybe that's that miser drake that the lady mentioned.
I don't think you saw scales, but you saw plates that were like scales.
I thought you described like a spooky dragon at the end of it.
That might have just been our interpretation. We're all like, wait, what the fuck? Is this a dragon? And then we all just assumed it was.
I just write down, are they making a dragon or armored beast with accurate? He's fitting in this plate making curve bendings, but yeah. Okay, scratch the dragon part. But maybe
Regardless,
that's
it looked like they were affixing scale-like plates to something, or in theory, making a scale-like creature, such as a dragon.
maybe that's the miser drake.
I'm not sure.
To be fair, what that is, impenetrable by simple mind nor steel. That could be why we have those vials. That'll help us walk through whatever.
Unwavering bastion and stalwart shield. So there could be some sort of guardian of bastion and stalwart shield. That could either be more guards, or that could literally be like an encasing to guard the heart. which is impenetrable as simple mind or steel. But it does say the sharp-honed edge, you're right, wet with the blood of the first. So if we were to cut the general with that blade, then take that blade and try and go to the heart.
Yeah, it's a multi-step thing. We have to.
Jesus Christ.
We have to hit the general first, get the fuck out of there, find whatever it is he's definitely not going to want us to find, then hit that 3 times, then go back to him, or he'll probably follow us, and then we can try to fucking kill the fucker. Which, by the way, Valentine, was something we were potentially before this being like, fuck that, we don't need to kill him, get our shit and go. No, we need to kill him now. It was kind of part of this deal. We got a way out, we got a way home, but it's not going to work until he's dead. And we got the book.
She let me come back, so that seems fair. I'm not going to argue with that. Well, which one of y'all's going to use that pink blade thing there?
I honestly,
the little one's got like that the hammer. She flies around with that belt. Mary, what do you got? Armor. You have that weird horse that showed up.
It's kind of part of the armor, yeah.
Oh, that's one thing.
I typically fight with 2 blades. I could use it, or Elena could use it, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how versed everyone else is with a longsword, but I'd imagine it'd be one of us. I can get a couple tries on it too, which is the nice thing. If someone needs to be hit 3 times,
that's true.
I can try 3 times pretty quickly.
I really, I worry, I don't know you guys that well, but I worry what Mr. Blue could do with something that decapitates people that quickly. And seeing what he did to that man on the street. What did he do to a man on the street? What the fuck was that about? Oh, he just pinned a man down and then cut off his face and yelled to a crowd with it while he was wearing it like some
tried to kill us, and
sack.
It won us the support of the locals.
Val will look at Mary and be like,
no, I think there were very few locals present, so I don't know how many hearts it won. It might have scared some other people. He almost scared some children with it. So,
okay.
I did come across our TikTok of that the other day, and it made me laugh a lot. I kind of forgot about the moment.
Is this the man?
Scott putting a napkin on his face. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. Very visceral picture of that.
Well, Mary, why don't you take it for now?
Yeah.
Lynn, you're the one who asked for it and was gifted it. I don't want to.
Yeah, but at the same time, I asked for something that would help us, all of us, right? So if you can get the most use out of it, I have my hammer and I have other stuff, and I still am learning how to use them. So I think it'd be cool if you try it out.
Just nod and look at it. Try my best. We also need to figure out what the fuck overall our plan's going to be here. I don't know that we're going to be able to do this without at least doing a little bit of recon. Maybe finding, I don't remember the guy's name off the top of my head. That man from the forge. Guy? No, the one
Kelly?
who, remember we would talk to his wife. He went missing. He's being held captive.
You mean Kellic?
Yes.
Like Barrelbane.
There's also those, we were told about some other dwarfs that are kind of near there. They're like in an abandoned church kind of near the compound of the coin.
Make some allies. Try to get some eyes on things, get the fuck out of there. I mean, that went real fucking well last time we went in, but at least we know what to look out for now. The thing is, we'd have to do it pretty fucking quietly. We don't want them to know that we're staking shit out. There is also the coyote motherfucker who we did steal some shit from, and that I think he might want back. So if we can think of a use or more information we need from him.
Did you steal from him?
Well, it wasn't so much steal as bring back here and intimidate and scare the shit out of him. There was threatening of fingernails to be pulled off. Strangely, not from Hondo. That was from Alana. But I snagged that weird fucking crystal ball thing he was using in his little ritual, and it looks super fucked up. Definitely cursed. But it's kind of held as collateral right now. So he, imagine, wouldn't go too far. He seemed quite attached to it. So if we needed anything else, we have a really big bargaining chip.
Kyle, I don't want to identify that because I'm worried about Val's already used up, I think, his magic for the day.
Mhm.
But does that ball look familiar? And I'm specifically thinking of the hag ball we stole, like the sea that we gave to the sea otter. This is all pre-stream. But does it look similar to that? In the just before the Abyss arc, where after this like hell gladiator pit thing, Kyle, why don't you explain? I forget where it is. I don't want to butcher it.
Basically, they were escaping hell through Ribcage, ended up on the Ribcage, the outland side of Ribcage, and in there, these guys got into some hijinks where they met a permanently polymorphed wizard who wanted them to steal a crystal ball and some other stuff.
A very nice young woman.
From
just a nice young woman.
Turned out to be a hag. And then they got their way over.
On time, went on a date with her.
Yeah. Got their way over to the Abyss.
Watch our third pre-stream recap.
Yeah, it's all back
details.
there.
It's all there.
Just go ahead and make an Arcana check. At disadvantage.
Oh my god, guys! I haven't used Val's sheet. I didn't even pull it up. I just have boons.
A disadvantage -4.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's fair.
Which skill did you want? Sorry.
Arcana.
Arcana?
So still good for you.
At disadvantage, right?
Even at disadvantage, and then -4 to whatever the roll is.
First one was 11. Next one's 7 on the dice. So that's 21. -4 is 17.
Still very good. Are you gonna, Mary? You have it tucked in the bag of holding. Are you gonna like take it out to like actually like look at it?
Do you mind?
I'll pull it out.
See
Don't look too fucking close. I swear to God, this thing looks scary as shit. Just don't get your face too close to it.
No, I don't want to get already come back to life once today. I don't want that to happen again.
It's too difficult in your current state to get a really good reading on what it can fully do. It's very clearly a crystal ball of some capacity. It doesn't necessarily resemble one that you recall. It's not. It doesn't feel reminiscent of that. But with that Arcana check, as you're kind of looking at it, it looks like a standard crystal ball that has bubbled and burned and like shifted and twisted a little. So like it's been blackened, and there's these kind of, where it should be sheer clear crystal ball, it's like extruded, and there's been some cracks and breaks and like some bubbling. And you can see that there is like a very thin shard or sliver of, at the heart, through the darkness, that when you're kind of examining it and trying to get a feel for what it can do, there's something in there that you feel for the briefest of seconds before you pull away, just knowing your current state, that there is this shard of something else that shouldn't exist in this state. And it's likely the source of this mutation.
Yeah, I don't like this. You can put that away. I don't really like it.
Mary puts it back in the bag.
Well, listen, Mr. Blue is going to see his friend, little Mr. Blue. What do we want to tell those people? They were all fire and brimstone, wanting to start an uprising, wanting to burn some buildings down. What do you think, Mr. Blue?
find the info that we need, and we can do it. We have a way. We just need to find it.
Now we should be careful because they're all about anarchy. And I don't know if we tell them that we made a deal with the lady, how kindly they'd take to that. So just something to keep in mind.
We don't have to tell them anything about the lady. We just tell them simply we know how to take him down. We need this heart. And that's all. Maybe we put out a few false rumors to send the general on a wild goose chase. But, we have a means here.
Were you guys doing false rumors before? What kind of false rumors were you spreading around?
I don't remember. I do remember what
Alana was very partial to a very specific rumor.
Oh, wow. What was it?
Typos.
What was that, sorry?
Typos.
Sorry, what?
The general.
Yeah.
Tiny balls.
He had a tiny ball that he played with?
Balls.
He had little mini baby balls.
Yeah.
Tiny little testicles.
It wasn't my finest moment, but it was all I could come up with in the moment. I was really upset.
Alana's had
that sounds good.
24 hours.
No, that sounds great. God, I'm not judging
Right?
the lie.
Yeah, his ego. He's clearly full of ego, and I feel like that would have worked.
To be fair, I think of all of the attempted false rumors, that one caught on the furthest.
Yeah, a lot of people spread it around.
I would believe it. I'd believe it. Because he's so swole that he's got to be on the juice or something. And we all know what that does.
Yeah. Wanted to make him feel?
Like a small, bald person. In the words of Honda the Blue.
We'll spread a few more rumors for sure. We can say that...
And the other one was that, his forces were weakening.
Okay, that's good.
His
That's
leadership, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was more strategic stuff in terms of, people are doubting him. Oh, is he really the best leader for blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
Is he leading us? This is very brash. What if the lady comes down and fucks all of it? Like, there was a lot of shit going on there. That one just seemed like, it was the best headline. So I feel like a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was the clickbaity. Yeah.
Lead with this man has small balls. And then later on, a couple paragraphs in, by the way, his forces are weakened. That's good.
I've also heard
from
no one but myself that he might be having an affair with a gnome.
He's having an affair with a gnome?
Yes.
Is he married or is the gnome married?
The gnome is married, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. You believe, okay.
You believe in this made-up story.
Well, it's big because, usually people in power like that, they're the ones with the mistresses or mistress or whatever. But but in this case, he's the Mr.
The other man.
He's the mistress.
Yeah.
That's shocking. Yeah, that's shocking news. Well, it seems like you guys haven't needed me at all. It seems like you guys have really got that covered.
Oh, God, no. You did. There was a lot of people that needed talking to, and it did not always go smoothly.
Also, apologies. Your body might have been stacked on top of another person for a long time. Totally intentional.
Totally intentional?
Absolutely intentional, but okay. I feel
you like planked me on someone?
We should apologize.
I think it was to hold down the gnome guy. Not the gnome. No, you got me saying it. The jackal gnome looking motherfucker.
You used me as like a rod of non-moving. You just put me on a whatever. It's fine.
Well, okay.
Are y'all always like this? Don't really talk much about the plan or what you're supposed to be doing.
You got
Wildcards.
You gotta find levity when you can, man.
I guess you're right.
Okay, so what's the to-do list? We need to. Oh, we also have Mordenkainen out there with the earring. Valentine, we may have lent your earring to a.
I didn't even notice.
The super strong wizard that we could potentially use help from. So we need to get that back at some point and also see if he's willing to help us more.
Okay.
We have to potentially, not have to, but it is an option to think of something that we want this I can't remember his name. What's he called? I keep wanting to call him the seer, and that is absolutely not correct.
The jackal guy?
Oh, the archivist.
Archivist.
See if we can find the archivist and either ask for a specific piece of information that he might know, or ask for him to use the crystal ball to look something else up for us under threat of, death or, payment for us giving it back to him without losing some kind of limb. That's an option. We also promised, but I think it's also in our best interest, again, in terms of staking shit out, to find this, I forgot his name again, guy.
The archivist?
Not the archivist. The guy we're supposed to go save.
Oh, Kellic?
Yes. To find, potentially find Kellic, see what he knows, help him get back to his family, and get some more information out of him there, and also potentially slow or stop whatever the fuck building this weapon is, because it seems like he's responsible for that. Or at least get more information about what the fuck this weapon is. We have to finalize when the fuck this is all going down, which it might be a work backwards thing. How much do we need to accomplish? Pick a date, work backwards from there, see if it's reasonable. Some of you look real fucking rough still from yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. Hondo's yawned like 13 times, and it's, we've been awake for 45 minutes. Yeah, so I know we can't run off today and do all this, because last time we were pretty fucking close to full strength, and he beat the shit out of us. We need to be as close to full strength as possible.
Y'all didn't
Anything
have
I'm
me
missing?
last time. So we could ask the archivist if he was so willing to betray the general. We could ask him about the miser drake, see if he could parse any of that knowledge and tell us about it. We have sending scrolls from the wizards from Arendelle that we could try and track down the archivist with. We could also use one of your earrings to try and tell Mordo, hey, things are going down. If you want out of this place, you're gonna have to help us. We should definitely meet the resistance and tell them it's on. We're doing this thing. Figure out timing. And then what was this about, like a dwarf church resistance or something like that? And then Boone will pipe in and be like, I think those are called the Smiths. They're hiding in an abandoned church not far from the Garrison House.
We need to make a to-do list.
Well, while the sun's still up, why don't we try and track down one of you use your earrings right now and try and see if Mordo would answer you.
Yeah, Alana, it's impossible not to like you, so you try to do it.
Kynan? Hello? Hello? Maybe I should leave the building and walk around and see if I can
Get a better signal.
Get a better signal, yeah.
Okay, so I'll walk out.
Don't go under the bridges and stuff. It stops the signal.
As you make your way down into the kind of relatively busy tavern at this time of day, you can see Vidane kind of going about his business and kind of gives you a cheery little wave, and you make your way out into a busy kind of courtyard outside in this district, in this kind of bizarre district, and you kind of slowly are kind of tapping and trying every so often. The range on this is not particularly far, so I'm not going to tell you the percentage chance of this, the percentage chance in which I think he could be in the area.
Okay.
But go ahead and roll percentile die for me. So if you have 2 d10s, one of them being the 2 numbers, one being a single digit, and you get percentile die. And if it hits the threshold, of which I think he is in range, we'll see what he does. If not, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I feel like didn't we tell him something about timing, like at sundown or something?
Okay, I got a 7 and a 1.
71. You how long do you do this for before kind of choosing that it's not going to happen? How long would you commit time to this?
20 minutes.
Okay. A significant amount of time. You kind of wander and you get a little bit further away, not, out of sight of second chances or anything crazy, but you're just kind of doing a circle around the district here, in this courtyard, I should say, not even the district, just this section of the district that you're in, the market ward. And you think at one point, like maybe there was a response, but you think as you kind of stop for a second, it's likely just voices in the area, and wherever he is, hopefully he's okay. There's no response, unfortunately. But what you do notice, make a perception check for me.
Okay. $14.
Yeah, over the 20 minutes, as you're just you're focused kind of internally, you're waiting for an internal mental response, right? So you're keeping an eye on your surroundings, but just so that you're not running into people or not getting hit by anybody, and keeping an eye on like your coin purse and stuff like that. But over the 20 minutes, in this kind of circle you've done of the market ward area you guys are in, you've clocked 8 mercy killers in pairs or in groups, making their way around. And at this 20-minute mark, you've noticed that you got a tail. At least one of them is kind of keeping an eye on you.
Okay, can I maybe are there crowds around?
Oh yeah, it's a busy area, and through the crowd, you've caught that this person is keeping. You'd probably gauge it at this point where you catch it. It's maybe a 20-30 foot tail, but around the area, you've seen a number of pairs. There's a significant increase in mercy killer presence, and apparently they're taking some interest in you at this moment. But yeah, there's tons of people here.
Okay.
It's a very busy time of day.
I do want to head back to everyone, but if there's a way that I can sort of stealthily blend into the crowd and kind of get away from them if I can, since I notice I'm being tailed, and then head back to second chances.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
Okay.
Yeah.
14.
Okay. You're just kind of following on this path, just walking, and just now that you're cognizant of it, you kind of change your pace. And as you kind of come around it, it is more or less like a circular area. And you come around the edge of one of these kind of tented carts and little tented areas that people are selling their wares, and you just duck in between two and just quickly dart, just as you're kind of just think you should be out of sight, and you start just kind of weaving in amongst the tents onto the other side, and making a beeline, just keeping low and using your natural stature as a advantage here. Just kind of dart in and make your way around the back of second chances to try and kind of tuck into the back of second chances. And in a quick glance, you're not sure if anyone has seen or followed, but at the very least, you don't see anybody directly on you, and you've made it back here as far as you can tell safely.
Okay. I'll go back up to where everyone is, and I'll just kind of let them know and say, hey guys, I think we're being followed. I spotted about 8 of them outside of the mercy killers. They were kind of following me a little bit, so
let's kill him.
Gotta be careful.
Let's take him down.
Let's be careful. We know that there's at least some of the mercy killers are corrupt or something, right? 'Cause they attacked us the other day. We don't know that it's all of them, and the fact that they didn't attack you when you were alone is a little weird.
Maybe because I was in a crowd. There were a lot of people around.
Maybe.
Do you see Kendra?
Didn't see
Did
her.
she ever get me that coffee? Do you think maybe she was just trying to figure out if she would get that to me?
I have a feeling she won't be getting it to you anytime soon, honestly.
Well, do you guys want to use one of these sending scrolls on your buddy, the Archivist, and see if you could set up a rendezvous with him, or is that too risky? I mean, we could also use one of those scrolls on Mordo and tell him.
I think we need a question, a specific question to ask the Archivist. I'm not sure if that comes, if we want to do any recon type shit, if that's a before or after thing. We know that ball can give way more information than a simple scry can do. So I'm not sure if it has a way to see in places, get specific information. I just want to make sure we got one chance and we're using it wisely. I also am, wary of we get him what he wants too early. That's a longer period of time for him to decide, you know what, maybe I will go back and try to find a general. Maybe I will, maybe my life's not as in danger as those guys made it seem. Right now, he can't go tattle on us because he wants his shit back. So I think we might have to save that for closer to when things actually go down. He needs to be able to give him a short enough cooling off period that he doesn't change his mind.
Speaking of when things go down, how long was I out for? Don't things have to be moving pretty quick here because of the end of the world and all that?
Yeah, that's similarly. Yeah, back home, shit is going to potentially literally go to hell unless we get home in time. So I think it was what, just over 24 hours? I think, right? It was only a day. It was evening to evening.
The Valentine's been dead?
Yeah. Because it was a long fucking day the next day. That's where we went through the ladies' ward and then to talk to Boone's contacts. We met Boone's contacts and we went straight there right after we met Boone. So I think it's only been it was only 24 hours. Oh, I mean, 24 plus the morning. So more like.
It's longer than that, but I don't have my calendar fully written out. I have to go back through my notes and catch up on what day was what. I think it's at least been 2 days minimum.
I didn't think we had 2 long rests, but I guess I could be wrong before we brought him back. I could be wrong.
Go ask for Dane. Let's go down and ask for Dane. He would know. Or Doc.
I'm sure they would 100% know. Give Kyle 20 minutes to look at his notes.
No, we don't.
I think it was a day and a half, but I could be wrong.
Either way, urgency. We got to do
yes,
this.
regardless. We have the balance of urgency, but also making sure that everyone's, not exhausted to shit. So we need to give ourselves a few days to recover and set everything up and not just, run in crazy while also keeping in mind that we need to get the fuck home. So what's step 1?
Step 1, we have to meet. Apparently, you guys made a liaison with the underground resistance, so we're meeting them tonight. So you guys got to tell them if it's go time or not. I bet they're itchy on the trigger fingers, so you got to tell them when you want shit to go down.
That's still 8 hours away, though.
In the meantime, you could try and do some reconnaissance, but see what the coin are doing. You don't want to get too far. It takes a while to get everywhere.
I say we take down one of the coin as a message. Next step, we blow up one of their key buildings.
I'm not
We're
opposed to
sending a
that.
shock and awe message to them. We're coming. Be ready. No one
So
is safe.
I'm not actually opposed to that at all. I just think the timing needs to be right. I love the idea of doing that right before we're striking, as opposed to like giving them a couple days heads up and notice that something's going to be happening. I really like the idea of using, you know, all that shit to cause the world's fucking biggest distraction, the city's biggest distraction, take out one of their posts. We already have one of the resistance, I believe. What we agreed with is the resistance. We're going to scope out which posts were potentially the right ones to hit, to draw focus, draw the maximum amount of focus. Then we could go in and potentially hit another one on the way, set shit up to go off to hit something else. So there's, you know, splitting their focus even further while we sneak in with these vials, however the fuck they work, and get what we need to without being seen. It's not necessarily going to draw the general, but it might draw some of his guard, or at the very least reduces the number of people that he can quickly call to his aid. But, Hondo, for once, yes, I think exploding thing is the correct answer here.
And as I said, we take one of their coin, we cut his head off, we put it on a pike, and we send a message to everyone to beware.
Yeah, but what's the message going to accomplish right now if we do that?
Oh, it's just step one. Step one, we put the head on the spike. If you're aligned with the general, we're coming for you. Step two, we blow the building up, sending the message that nobody is safe if you're with the general. Then we talk with our troops, we rally them up, we say, look what's happening, the tides are turning, and let's get ready to strike.
Where is this metaphorical or literal pike for displaying heads?
Oh, you know, we just find a tall pole and we stick the head on it.
I understand, but like there's multiple parts of the city. Is it to where the coin will see it? Scott, you're muted.
I like parts of that plan. I like the idea of blowing up a warehouse and then being like, hey, no one with the coin is safe, making them feel uneasy. I don't know if we need to do the whole public display of a man's head.
Oh, no, we
Especially, didn't Brawl just say the cops were tailing her the whole time and she hasn't even done anything?
Because the thing is,
okay,
we need I am sure the general has a lot of informants and loyalists hidden. We need to send them the message too that they are not safe.
So what about doing something like that? Potentially. But making it seem like it's not us.
Well, we don't have to.
Yes, what I mean.
We don't have to put it up. Like someone can put the body up for us. No one needs to know it was us.
I mean, the whole thing is sewing.
We need the body part. Can't we just do the jump to the blow up a coin warehouse?
We need the body. We need to send the message to the loyalists too.
Okay, what if this happens at the same time?
What if we did the warehouse and then if you found some schmuck that you're like, oh, let's kill this guy. Somehow we're going to find a spy.
You spread it out because
you
want them to be shocked initially by this body.
And sorry, your plan was called Shock and Awe. I just wanted to make sure I had it right.
They're going to be so they're going to be all chaotic. Then, just as things start to settle down, boom, building blows. They're in chaos. Then we rally the troops.
And what are we doing with the troops? Because that's the resistance, right?
Plan?
No, this is all today. We have 8 hours, and that 8 hours we should be able to do a body.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. We're not going to be doing the actual rallying and marching on the thing for probably a couple days. Because you guys look like shit and we need to be in good standing. And also, I think the whole rallying of the troops is going to take a little longer than we think because it always takes forever. It takes forever for us to get our shit together, let alone potentially a bunch of inspiring masses to potentially help with the coin.
Well, we're going to meet that today.
No, I don't disagree. So maybe we present your shock and awe plan this evening and see how the resistance could potentially even do some of this for us.
Yes, the blowing up definitely they could do.
Exactly.
Remember we met the Aemon, that blue-skinned dragonborn? Wait, was I there for that? No, I wasn't.
No,
nope.
That was the other year.
That was Valentine.
Didn't you meet that guy?
Where are we talking about?
Don't you remember we met that Dragonborn guy and he had us all meditate while his boss did? That was really boring. But the Dragonborn guy was like, hey, I want a bit of the action here. Hondo is right. There are some people who I think would be down for a bit of showing support to a resistance that's trying to overthrow the general.
I mean, maybe we kind of started it already, but also get members of the anarchists and others to do, whisper campaign-y, targeted in certain areas, trying to, I don't know, get something more specific printed in that newspaper, something like that can, I don't know, get people inspired on their own. The thing I'm running up against is how do we both plan this with potentially getting lots of people, forces to help, while also not getting the information to the coin about when we're intending to do all of this. So there needs to be something like, well, you'll know it when you see it, and come and fight when you know it, when you see it, which potentially is where the explosion comes in, right? That's the sign that something's fucking going wrong.
Yeah.
So we kind of spread the message of shit's coming and you'll know it when you see it, or what side are you going to be on, kind of thing. Are you on the lady side? Down. And then the know it when you see it is whatever, whatever this phantom, susses out is their most vulnerable place in terms of, most advantageous to us. That's where we hit, and that's the message.
What if we do a know it when you see it, fight for the cage you want to live in, await the signal, something like that? We get that printed in the cager. We have to go to the clerk ward, find out whoever makes this newspaper, or just start spreading that around. When Hondo had that wild orgy, I can only imagine that all sorts of whispers are floating around. That's a good place to spread it. Spread a lot of things.
I mean, that's where things were already spread about, there's something going on in the coin. It's not as stable. Things are starting to get shaky. So this is the next logical step of things are getting shaky and, they're vulnerable. And now
he's got small balls.
Soon we're the time. Yeah, all that. So if we can try to find a way to use that to our advantage, and then, our Hondo's big show of force is the signal for everyone to get their shit together and at least start. And let's be clear, let's be honest, it's not going to be the thing that helps us take anything down. However, that will, potential everyday man forces coming to help are just going to add to the distraction.
Yeah.
And I mean, not a distraction. And I'm not one to, you guys know I don't like the idea of casualties for no fucking reason, but I think a lot of these people have a lot of shit to fight the coin about. There's a lot that people are willing to fight for, and it's not going to go for nothing.
What if, Hondo, you can disguise yourself at will, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
He has a spell.
And Brawley, do you still have that tattoo that lets you disguise yourself?
Yeah.
You guys could, if Brawley's being followed, you guys could switch into someone else while we're waiting for midnight and go to that tavern. And Brawley, you were so successful with that small bald campaign. Hondo, you were so successful with that sexual deviant campaign. You guys could just try and do that, let's say,
well, we don't even
in
have
one
to
more
wait.
day, wait for the signal.
I say we go out right from the bat with a disguise.
Go out wearing the disguise?
Yeah, don't wait for them to follow us. Go.
No, I'm saying, yeah, exactly. You wear it now. You go there.
As coin.
Back door or something. As coin.
We have to be disguised as coin.
But where I think what Valentine's suggesting is the whisper campaign side of things of.
But if you wanted to dress as a coin and try and find another coin and try and get information from them, try and bullshit it, that's hilarious too, and I would love to see it.
Or start being like, oh man, I don't know, I heard some shit's going to, I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
We spread false rumors, and they'll believe us because we're coin, right? So you should see the shit that's going down right now.
Sure. Try
Let's
it.
just
Are
be-
you guys down to try that? Let's do some instead of just talking about it.
Yeah, and then potentially, I don't know how one goes about getting something printed in like an anarchist newspaper.
Go to clerk ward.
Um,
That's what they said. Hit up the clerk ward, find these people.
Like, are they going to let us? Are they going to let us pay for a political ad in their anti-capitalist newspaper?
Yeah,
They seem open to.
they're not the anarchists. The independents and the anarchists are two different
Yeah, I know.
factions.
I got it. Not confused. I just said the wrong thing.
They printed the guy with wings being like something about change.
All right.
So what's the plan? What are we doing?
Hondo, Brawley, I think you guys should go disguise or stealth. Hondo, you're very stealthy. Head to that bar. If you see some coin, maybe try and chat up the coin. Be like, I heard the general's a piece of shit. I heard he's having an affair with a gnome. What have you guys heard? And then get to that bar and start spreading rumors that, hey, I heard shit's gonna go down and you're supposed to wait for the signal. It's not tonight. It could be any other night after that. And then we're supposed to rise up and defeat the coin once and for all.
Which bar is this again?
This would be the bar with that.
The bathhouse.
The bathhouse.
Oh, the bathhouse. Okay, different. Okay,
How far is the
And then-
bathhouse?
it's in the same district. It's not very far.
And then how far was where we think the clerk's ward and the?
Where the
That was like an all-day thing, wasn't it?
where
To and from there.
the free cager comes from.
Yeah.
That is in the clerk's ward. It would be a couple hours of just walking. Hang on one sec.
I have an alternative option. How often and frequently do we see the people giving away the cager?
It'd be about 3 hours.
Okay. How about the people who
Got time.
distribute it? The like random people on the street.
I mean, you guys haven't looked for them recently, but like typically you've seen at least a handful on any journey through any ward.
What about writing up some kind of flyer or notice and like mage handing it into all their pockets? So at the end of the
my
day,
God.
they're like, wait, what the fuck is this? And it's like, obviously someone's trying to get a message to us, but it seems even more like cloak and daggery. And then you can, we'll get Valentine to write it because he's the best writer of what's the message and just try to get it to them. And if enough of them go back to their boss and
It's
say,
a
what the
split
fuck, I
plan.
found this in my
It's
pocket.
a split plan. Mary, Boone, and Gord, you pick your adventure here, whether you want to go with this campaign or the Brawley Honda Whisper campaign. But Mary Val could do that. Or Mary
You're
Boone could do that.
bedridden.
Yeah, Val stays bedridden, but maybe he writes some cute notes and sprays cologne on them. And then Brawley Hondo, you try your plan, and then we meet back here at midnight because Horace is going to find us.
I want to say one thing about the bathhouse campaign.
Okay.
Your intent is to spread what rumor there?
We're going to spread 2 rumors at
Okay.
least. One is that the general is having an affair with the gnome,
Sure. Okay.
The more
And,
important of the two, I'm sure.
and we could spread a rumor of a false coup. Did you
Okay.
hear that there's some coin who are unhappy?
We also want to spread the rumor that there's an uprising about to happen. Wait for the signal. That's important.
That
Wait for
last
the
part
signal.
is
Yeah.
important because I would say Hondo, Gord, and Val, you were there the first round.
Yep.
Prior to your death. You all would get the idea that those first 2 rumors are going to spread like wildfire. But the idea of an uprising, the people at the bathhouse aren't the people who are going to be fighting anything. These people are your wealthy, your affluent people who would happily gossip and spread those rumors wide. But you're not going to incite them into action. The people
Okay,
who
so
you
Maybe
you'd be better off suited finding a place that either you've been or even a different ward, in this ward possible, but a place that are the people who are down on their luck and looking for change.
that's what you guys should do. Maybe a 2-part plan. Swing by the bathhouse, share the gnome affair one, whatever one you want, the coup, then keep finding seedy bars with people down on their luck and tell them their luck's going to turn around, wait for the signal, and then rise up.
Even
Brawley, you are the
areas with-
responsible one. You just have to guide Hondo's chaos. You just have to aim it and let it go.
maybe that area, what about, I know it's the opposite direction of the bathhouse. What about that area where that house was burned down? The neighbors of that poor family Like that's where people were starting to say, this is getting out of hand. This is going crazy. Like find that local place. It's also on the way to where the coin are. So they're going to be the people who are literally like proximity wise, much closer to shit when it goes down.
It was basically at the border of the Guildhall ward and the Clerk's ward is where that fire was.
So you and I could do that. You and I could do that, and they could try and find other bars.
Right.
Because we're going Clerk's ward anyways.
Yeah. If we can get there in time, there and back. That's the question. I'm not really sure. I know time travel.
At this point, you guys have been talking and planning for a good hour or so.
Yeah.
So it's pushing 4 or 5 o'clock. It is 2.5 to 3 hours to that area for you guys. For Brawley and Hondo, you're in the market ward. That's where the bathhouse already is. And there are a number of pubs and bars and taverns and inns beyond the ones that you have witnessed that you could easily, shoot your shot and see what you find. And in a couple of hours of wandering around spreading rumors, easily in the market ward, you could spend a whole day doing that. But in a couple hours, absolutely. So we'll say it's like 4:30, 5 o'clock. No, yeah, 4:30, 5 o'clock. And you're expecting someone back here for around midnight.
Perfect.
So you've got at least 5-6 hours to play with before you guys kind of want to get ready and prep yourselves. So a trip to the Guildhall / Clerk's ward and back, it's going to be cutting it a little tight for you guys if you're, not moving quick. But for Brawley and Honda, you guys got a ton of time to go that way.
Another suggestion, maybe not something we can do, but maybe something we could pay someone to do because, timing. We're running low on potions. We're running low on a lot of shit. We tried to go shopping at the beginning of this. Everything went to hell. We never followed through with any of it. Is there maybe, Boone, if you know anyone or if Doc knows anyone who's okay with kind of being a little, courier, if we can give them some gold to go buy some shit for us, even if it's just a few potions, like better than nothing. Because if someone goes down and I can't do shit to help them unless I have a potion. I think I have one.
Yeah, I know a guy. Someone willing to help us. We could just give him some money and see how well he does. How well they do.
Are you okay with that, Kyle?
Depends what you're talking about.
I don't know. I was just trying to maybe like an Uber or something we could do. Doc, Dane.
You can certainly ask.
We can ask Vidane if he knows anyone who he thinks is trustworthy and is looking for a little bit of coin. Like this isn't a risky thing. It's going shopping.
Sure.
For very simple things, non-illegal things. It's literally just potions.
Yeah, you're sending someone into a city with a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So someone who's capable as well. We can ask Vidane.
All right.
Is there anything else we need to accomplish on this other than just rumor spreading? Like any kind of recon we can do? I'm just trying to make sure we get as much done in this day that we can.
Valentine's writing the same thing on notes that he's just going to tear out of his book. And then he's just going to hand them out to you guys. That if you see people, you want to give them that note. If you want to try and stuff it in the pants of a newsboy. And that will be, he'll try and do the same symbol that the cager did after their first fight at this bar, the little wings. And then it'll say, know it when you see it, fight for the cage you want to live in, await the signal soon.
Okay.
Also, if I happen to see a coin in the bathhouse, I may kill him, and then I may stick a sign on him saying, I betrayed the general.
But isn't that just going to make people more... Isn't that just going to make people be like, oh shit, I better not fucking betray the general, I guess.
That's true. You're kind of doing his work.
That's a good point. Okay, other way around.
More like...
I would never betray the general.
I don't know. Wait, how does that work?
A coup is coming.
I'll also say just to add that little button there. The coin likely don't frequent the bathhouse. So keep the bathhouse is less of like lower riffraff and criminal levels, and more wealthy,
The bathhouse-
affluent.
The bathhouse was great for spreading big balled or small balled rumors.
Absolutely.
However, the fancy ass rich people, I don't know if we have anything specific we want from them. To the DM's point, I think you need to go more for the common man's place.
Yeah, you're not going to find coin there. If you're looking for coin, there are places to find them. It's seedier underbellies and back alleys and shit.
Find places where the coin would fuck people up regularly, and because those are the people who might want to fight back.
And well, we also just need to spread the rumors too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can do that in those kinds of places. And keep an eye out for all sorts of shit, other people telling you. Again, spreading rumors is great. This is a kind of, organizing a resistance is important, but we have a lot of other shit we need to accomplish. We're getting a late start on the day. We can accomplish some of this other shit after the sun turns off. Whatever the fuck that happens, but we have some reconnaissance to do and some more information to gather as well. So let's just get through this quickly.
Okay. All right, I'm ready to go. Let's go down and see Verdane, tell him about the plan.
Okay. So,
Oh.
by the way, I gave away all my gold. I still don't have any gold, so you guys are gonna have to pay for the potions.
We'll cover that for that. How much, Scott? What are we looking at for party gold? I know we're running low.
Yeah, well, low is relative. Let's see. Inventory notes. Party gold, $127. But we have party gems, in quotations, because Hondo has a lot of them. 3,000 gold. Hondo has 4 sticks of dynamite. Gord has 3 regular potions. Raleigh has 2 regular potions. Mary, did you use a potion? And we can figure this out later. Let's just ask a guy to buy potions. We'll take 500 gold's worth of party gems.
I don't know if it's going to buy a lot of potions.
We'll take 2,000 gold worth of party gems.
That's a lot.
We'll take 1,000 gold worth of party gems.
Okay.
Here, 1,000 gold to courier? Question mark?
See if Verdane knows anyone trustworthy is the key. He's not going to just be like, wow, 1,000 gems. I wonder if I just walk away with this.
So let me just recap one more time. So Ali and Hondo are going to make their way out into first the bathhouse to spread some rumors, second to search out seedy pubs to spread rumors of multiple different kinds and see if you can find some coin. You're going to stay in the market ward and just spread out in the market ward and spend a couple hours there. Confirmation, yes?
I think so.
Okay. Boone, Mary, and Gord, or Gord, are you going with Team A?
Gord, you decide which one you want to do.
Yeah, where's Gord going?
Uh,
Are you going to go rumor spread or kind of different rumor spread / investigation in the clerk's ward with Boone?
Hondo might kill a guy.
I'll go with Hondo.
Yeah, that's probably where you want to go.
Okay. Gord joins the rumor spreaders. And then Boone and Mary will make their trip out to the clerk's ward / Guildhall ward, like right on the cusp there. Check out the area where that murder was, where the fire was, and then make a pointed drop off at the free cager offices, or see if you can find one or a couple of the
a little of both.
People distributing.
Aiming for the editor's office, but if we see some people along the way, trying to hand those out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think trying to sneak them into pockets and shit. So it's like, well, where did this come from? Wow, this is crazy. Like, is the general idea, but then also just trying to get into sow the seeds in areas we know that area has been hit bad. So
okay,
and it's also on the way, from what I understand, it's on the way to where the coin are. So it also helps familiarize us with the route, like all that kind of shit. You see if on the way there. Yeah, but if there's like a back alley kind of way that's less direct that we can kind of keep an eye out for, I'm not sure.
It's all kind of, because it's all like a donut. There's no good like secretive ways. It's all kind of one way, but gotcha. You can keep an eye out for it anyways. But so Ali, Gord, and Hondo, you guys set off into the night as it does kind of it doesn't change to like a dusk, but it is beginning to grow later in the evening. The light is still, in terms of it's still day. It hasn't shifted over to night just yet, but it's getting close. As Boone and Mary, you guys come down into second chances, and you do see Vidane and Doc actually are together at the bar, just kind of talking, and Doc kind of waves you guys over, as Vidane just happily just kind of claps Boone on the shoulder and gives a nod to Mary. Says, I hear there's some congratulations for you all. You did some good work. That's good to hear.
They got their pretty friend back. He talks a lot.
What I understand, better talking than not in this case.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's a bit of a miracle if someone to come back in these stages. Doc and I have been discussing how I don't want to say there's a shift of things, but there's a difference. Seeing that change from the lady, that's significant in my opinion.
You know,
She
called
sees where
us,
potential is. At least the potential this city has to do something about its problems.
She called us Knights of Sigil, didn't she?
Essentially.
She called us Knights of Sigil. And we're on a bit of a mission to clean things up around here, as you'd expect. But Mary, her and her friends, they got deep pockets, and they wanted a favor of a Dane that maybe I thought you could help with.
Well, I'd be happy to. What can I do?
We're hoping if you know someone with a good heart, trustworthy. We started this whole fucking adventure here, our first day, just trying to scope out wares. We're going to be in some shit, and we're going to need as much help as we can get. So we have some coin and some gems. It's worth a lot, but we're hoping someone can, we don't want to be tailed. Someone can take what we have and try to track down potions, anything that's going to help us out. Ideally, healing potions. I don't remember, as Leah, where we saw them last time, but I would relay that information. It was what's her face's shop.
Maiden of Joaquin, I think. It's where you last shopped.
Or I mean, someone local who knows the area who would know anything else. Maybe try to get us a deal. It's a lot of money. So we just want to make sure. Obviously, we, reimburse them fairly.
The Dane just kind of chuckles a little and says, well, there ain't nobody with a better heart here than, kind of gestures to Doc. And Doc looks and says, I'm happy to help y'all. And I got no reason to do anything else. You're the only thing that is making any change these days. And I got to make my way back to the forge eventually, but at least for the time, I think I'm better suited up here. So I'm happy to do whatever it is you need, even as a courier, and you can trust me with coin, at least you can say that.
I vouch for him. I know where he sleeps.
And he also, Doc, you've done so much for us already.
Like I said, it's worthwhile to help those who are doing the right thing. I may not be standing beside you in battle, but if I can get you prepped and ready for it, and your battle makes a big change and makes a city worth living in, I don't mind.
Thank you. Get Ace ready to help you get through whatever shit might face you out there. I'll pass along the little, I'm assuming we have a little bag that we could put that in.
Oh yeah. he kind of half sentences. Well, you weren't joking about the amount. You all do have deep pockets. What am I looking for?
Potions of healing.
Daily
Standard
potion.
stuff.
Even if it was smaller ones, they seem to go down a lot. So if it was the latter ones that could at least bring someone back, might be just as valuable as one that does a lot of healing.
Well, this will buy you plenty of potions. Isn't it? You're looking for something more substantial, or just as much as they got?
I'm trying to think. What were the other kinds of things that we saw? I'm trying to find the note in my book.
From the maiden that you saw?
Yeah, I know there's like, I mean, personally, if there's like a little extra something that's just like the +1 arrows are always useful. I'm trying to think of other kind of consumables that we've used in the past that have been good. Holy shit, that was so many sessions ago.
I feel like just healing for now. I got her notes here.
There's a lot
Like-
of little stuff, but nothing that you're also not sure what wares have changed. The whole idea is her stuff changes
Yeah,
significantly.
all the time.
We have a potion of growth, which is cool. We can still use that later. Because I know about that, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah. Make
But,
Elena
like, a
fucking
potion of
monstrous and beat the
invulnerability
shit out of
is-
things.
$6,300. So
Yeah, that's
I-
too much.
I feel like we just get health potions.
If there's anything that's like I don't know how much or if available scrolls are, but even like restoration scrolls could be useful. Right? But I don't know how much those are. I'd imagine more than 1,000 gold.
They're typically not scribed. Scrolls you typically find more in the arcane vein than in the divine.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's difficult
okay.
to translate the kind of the power of divinity into a simple scroll. Arcana is more you passing through it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I'll
that's
find
right.
anything. Well,
I
certainly.
found the notes that
Yeah.
this chick has a connection to Eli.
Hmm?
Forgot about that.
The Maiden of the Plains. All right, let's keep it moving. Just health,
Yeah.
and then let's see what the Chaos Twins +1 get up to.
I think they'll do well. I'm slightly nervous. of
Actually, I guess
leaving them by
Pirate
themselves.
Twins.
Yeah.
Chaos
Chaos
Twins
Twins is
is a
hard to
person I've
unlock.
never met before.
I think I'll keep them in order. And to be honest, Gord might keep them in order. Gord has a good head on his shoulders nowadays. Okay.
Now we're gonna make our way to the clerk ward. Thank you, Doc. We appreciate this.
Of course. Things are getting late, but I'm sure these places will take good coin. Keep them open a little late, and I know a couple people might be able to get you a little bit extra. So do some favors for those folk and see what I can scrounge. And I'll meet you back here and as soon as I can, as soon as you're back. If you're headed to the clerk's for, we'll see you in a couple hours. I might not see you until tomorrow. Actually, it's a long ways.
All right.
This time of day, but I'll leave your stuff at least in the room. Vidane can let me in. Well, I suppose Valentine could let me in. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. I'd like to check in on him make sure he's doing all right.
That'd be kind. It looks like he could stretch his legs.
Well, it's good to get him up, but he shouldn't stay up for too long. All right. Well, safe travels. I know the two of you are strong, and Boone, I know you're on your little bit of a crusade, and this crusade is coming to a bit of a head, coming quickly. It's been a long time coming, but don't get lost in it. You know, remember the people you're fighting for, new and old. You got to fight for them, and you got to live for them. So don't go losing your head over nothing.
Don't worry, Doc. I got regrets. Let's pat the glaive.
I know you do. You say it all too often. He exits and goes a different direction as you guys exit, headed towards the guild hall /clerks wards. We'll jump over to Hondo, Alana, and Gord. As you guys set off, there was intention for you to disguise yourselves. Are you going to do that before?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alana, what do you look like? And that will keep in mind, Alana's yours lasts for an hour, I believe. Hondo,
Okay.
do you have the spell so you can just keep casting the spell?
Do I have disguise self?
Yes. And Gord, you have the mask of many faces to keep disguise self up whenever you want, right?
I have disguise self, yeah.
Or did you not take that?
I think so. 1 second.
Yeah, I thought you did. I could be wrong.
Might not anymore.
I think you might have swapped it out by the looks of things. Yeah, I think you've changed it out. So, Gord, if you don't have the spell to alter your appearance, Hondo has the spell, but you could just go as yourself, of course. You could also just try and change the way you look, just now you act, but it's up to you guys. But Alana, how do you visually change yourself?
I won't do anything crazy, especially if it's only for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll change my hair. I'll just do like a blonde, since it's opposite to red.
Yeah.
I'll do that, and I'll just change up my face just a little bit, but I'll pretty much look the same.
Yep, just shift a little, stay dwarf, stay female, stay all that. But
Yeah,
just
just so I don't
enough that
look-
you wouldn't be directly recognizable.
Yeah.
Do you change your clothes, or is it...
Yes. Are we all wearing the same... We're going as the coin?
Is that what you're doing? Because
Is that what we're
currently,
doing?
I don't think... I guess, yeah, you guys have seen coin outfits, but
Yeah.
to physically change... Is that what you're planning to do? Go as coin?
Is that what we're doing, Hondo? Yeah?
The one thing I'll
Maybe.
say, if you're going to go to the bathhouse first, probably not good to look like coin.
Okay.
If
Okay.
you're going to go bathhouse first, probably don't want to look like that. But if you're going to go and look at other bars and things, could very well play into that.
So
Okay.
can we change like midway our disguise?
Well, Allie can only do it once a
Oh,
day, right, with the tattoo.
Given that you're being like tailed, it might make sense to be disguised when you leave this place. The
Yeah.
only thing the thing with coin, that doesn't have to be everyone, right? That can be something you do after. If Hondo has more than one spell slot, he could change it and go in as coin somewhere else, while Allie just goes in as like a regular and
Mhm.
Gord goes in as himself. So you kind of get all sides of it when you go into a bar, right? You have a regular Joe saying shit, you have a coin person saying shit, and you have Gord looking mysterious in the corner.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'll
So-
just change my armor to like just regular everyday Joe clothing.
Yeah, to not look quite so auspicious and
Yeah.
outstanding. You got it. Hondo, what do you look like?
so we're going to go to the bathhouse first then?
That's up to you guys. But it sounds like it, yeah.
Let's do that. And I will go as I will go as an emperor looking kind of guy.
Very fancy. Staying, what race are you going to go to?
Flowing robes of silk with
Okay.
embroidery.
Ooh. Are you going to be a Triton still, or do you want to change up to be a different race?
I'm going to be a 70-year-old human.
70-year-old man. Okay. So kind of got the Raymond Morales look
I was
going.
gonna say, is your name Roymond Morales?
It may be.
And Gord, are you disguising in any way, or
Nope, I'm raw dogging it, baby.
you got it? That's cool. So the three of you begin making your way to the bathhouse. And it's not a particularly far walk from here. It's maybe 10, 15 minutes. But as you make your way, at this point, the light is about to kind of shift, and you can feel this kind of shift and change coming. And it is a light switch, but there is like this build to it. It's almost like an energy that you can feel being out underneath the light. And just as you guys reach the bathhouse, it flips, and you are into the evening as you guys make your way onto the exterior of the bathhouse, and you can see the walk up is all lit with kind of like tiki style torches, and all around the exterior there are flames of different colored hues as you make your way to the exterior, and you can just hear this kind of raucous party is underway. There are many people kind of just like laughing and talking. It's just kind of this low din of people kind of going about their little party ways, splashing, and you can see the exterior baths are full, many people, and you actually see at the head, where I don't remember if you'd seen previously, but at least in this case, there are a couple of stationary guards at the top of the stairs, and a couple that you can see are making their way through the party, as either this is a private affair or perhaps there are certain individuals here who are of note. But this, you now see there's a proper guard detail at the entry as the three of you make your way close. And as you kind of climb the stairs, the one out front puts his hand out and kind of gives a scan over you and says, kind of looks at Allie, looks over Gord for a moment, but looks to the elderly silken robe emperor style figure and says, you have an invitation to Hondo.
Oh, so do I look like I would need an invitation?
Make an intimidation check.
Nice answer. Strong answer. And don't flub this. Come on, baby.
Yeah.
Wow. Great.
Nice.
It was 19 for the listener. Plus
Plus your intimidation.
Oh, intimidation is...
I think it's pretty
7.
good.
So 25 total.
My apologies. Would you like me to introduce you, sir?
Yes. You are to address me as Broyman Roralis of Lysandra.
Brymond
Roralis.
Roralis. Pardon me. Sorry, sir. My apologies. Please let me lead you. And these are your guests.
My loyal, distinguished guests. Yes. Would you like me to introduce you?
It's entirely in your purview, sir.
I will let them decide if they would like to introduce themselves.
He kind of looks to the two of you for a
I
second.
was just like, do not let Hondo name you. Or me too.
Raleigh, what's your name? What do you do?
I'll just be like, my name is Susie Sheffy.
Susie Sheppy.
Susie Sheppy. You just see the guard just, and then look to Gord.
Gordon, what's your name?
And you, sir?
My name isn't important.
He kind of looks to you, Hondo, for a second. Says, "Is his name isn't important, or is his name not important that he doesn't want an introduction?"
Let's just say that he is wanted in many places. So we just call him not important.
He kind of puts his hand up and says, "Look, this is, as you're well aware, sir, there should be no weapons, and this is a private party. We're hoping for no bloodshed. I don't mean to question you, sir. I understand security detail is needed, but..."
I flow my robes open to say, do you see any weapons here?
What does he see underneath the robes? You're disguised.
Just a 7-year-old white guy's body.
He looks...
Is he clothed? What's he wearing?
No, he's naked.
Oh my god.
he just averts his eyes and says, "My apologies, sir. I should not have questioned." The other guard who was there is just like silently just kind of drifted at this point. And the guard who's there just says, follow me. I will introduce you, of course.
Thank you. About
To
time.
hype him up, I'll be like, all hail his gloriousness.
There's some party goers who kind of just
That'll
like
do,
raise their
that'll do.
glasses as you guys are going, and the guard just kind of says, hail, and just starts kind of continues walking. You cross across the kind of open bats where you previously had all kind of met a figure there of intrigue, and just made a little encounter there, and you make your way inside where there is this kind of sprawling, somewhat partially like a masked kind of ball. It's a little eyes wide shut going on inside. There's like open areas of, I mean, Hondo and Gord fit well in, I should say. But there's a little affair going on in here. As the guard kind of sweeps open the curtains to enter into the main area and says, all hail his gloriousness, Broymond Roralis, Sir Broymond Roralis, and his wards, Susie Sheppy, and security. Not important. And he just turns on his tail and walks back out. There is a intriguing like level of like kind of like polite clapping and a sudden hush of like, what the fuck just happened? Before half the party just kind of continues on their own thing. But you guys are welcome into this kind of private affair.
So I guess we'll start
Mingling?
mingling around, you know, if there's a group of people, like
Sure.
Excelsior, fine people. My name is Broymond. This is my fine companion, Susie, and he isn't important.
The group you find there are half of them are masked and like kind of drinking and laughing as you kind of make your way up. Some of them aren't, and you just see a swath of male, female, whatever, everything in between, and all different races races. And one of them in the group just kind of says, "Excelsior, friends! Welcome to this little shindig." That was quite an entrance. We weren't actually being introduced formally, so I don't know what you did to that guard, but that was interesting.
You are an interesting bunch in this land. You see, we travel through many dimensions, striking trade deals with our land, Vesaria. And I must say, I'm quite disturbed by the people of your region.
Oh, that's fair. The people of this area are disturbing, to say the least. This is a particularly odd space. I'm curious, when you say you made your way for a trade deal, are you free to come and go as you please?
Yes, we have struck some understandings with the lady. She has interest in our power crystals.
Make a deception check for multiple reasons.
Oh gosh, I hope this. Oh gosh, it's a 4. Now let me see. Deception. It is okay. Good. It's a +10 expertise. So, and +16, so 26.
Okay. This figure and some of the others who were just kind of laughing at first are now kind of. And like others who are passing by at the mention of like a deal with the lady and power crystals, people have kind of started to kind of group around, and this kind of odd moment is kind of building. And other voices, power crystals. Now that sounds intriguing. That is perhaps a business venture that I may find myself persuaded to invest in. Tell me more.
In due time, of course, you may discuss the finer details with my companion Susie. She, in fact, is the one who brokered the initial deal with the lady. But we might renege on this deal because we are disturbed by what we have heard of is a man named the General.
There's kind of this faint kind of like hush, or not hush, but like a little gossipy whispers that kind of break out through this small crowd who's gathered here. And a couple of people are trying to kind of like sidle up to Alana and say, do you have an in with the lady? Is that true?
Confidentiality, please. It's strictly business.
And they kind of like shy away a little bit and just like, fuck. And they just kind of walk away. But back to this figure who's like been dealing with you and says, you're turned off, your business turned off by the fact that the General is in the city.
He is a thorn in our trade. He interferes in the running of the city. We have heard that he is rambunctious, having an affair with a mere gnome.
There's like a brief moment of like, wow, sudden racism just sparked out of this business deal.
But not only that, you see, we were going to do such dealings with him, but he's strictly bad for business. He's clearly in mountains of debt. Doesn't want word getting out. Don't want that kind lurking around.
A deception check on that.
Ooh, I hope I'm good at those.
Good shit,
don't
Brawley.
think I am.
Good shit.
You should get an advantage with this guy's.
Oh man, and my deception's -1.
I'll say I'll give you advantage, but not with the disguise, but because of Hondo's kind of building up of this moment and kind of giving you weight. I'll give you
17.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
Okay.
First one was 7.
The crowd here is well into their cups and intrigued by these newcomers with apparent connections to the Lady of Pain and making business deals and trade deals and power crystals. And so suddenly, like, more people are gathering, and some people have kind of drifted they don't care about business. They're just here for the party and for whatever else. But there are the people who are here for the connections that you garner at events such as these. They stick by, and there's just this kind of smaller conversations are breaking off, discussing how the General has affected them. And you guys are kind of listening and hearing the General has indeed put kind of a throttle on certain businesses that have caused a definite concern in some of the noble houses and aristocratic families. However, you hear some arguing for the importance of a competitive market and how the General certainly aids in some of their businesses. You're hearing this kind of back and forth. And there's a definite element of these people aren't caring about the human element of the General and the people of the city. These are people who are strictly business. Go ahead.
So I will say, we're discussing.
Just in amongst, yeah.
The problems we have with the General are that, you see, we have a deal and he is threatening to disrupt it. We find that unacceptable. And the worst part is not just that he has debts, which is the reason for this interference, but it's the gnome that has influenced him on this deal.
Who is this gnome? This gnome sounds arguably like more of a threat than the General. People are just kind of like so curious about this gnome now.
His name is Perry. And
Perry.
Teddy Washburn.
Yes.
Washburn, Perry.
That's
Washburn.
right. Yes, thank you, Susie. That I was trying to remember.
That's what I'm here for.
He seems to have had a spell over the General or something, but they're infatuated with each other, and I fear that this love complication will interfere in our deal, and it's unacceptable. These crystals are valuable, and they are very volatile.
Make another deception check. This is just a straight roll because you're starting to lose people with your craziness. But 18, you're getting
Really
them
ridden
back.
a roller coaster.
you're getting them back. With your bonus as well. It's a lot, and people, especially given their in their cup state, you're watching more people are breaking off. The group has significantly dwindled, but the people who are breaking off are continuing the threads of what you've implanted here. That this gnomish figure Perry has infatuated the general, and there's just now people are just like in their own stories of volatile love and affairs that they're having, and it's intriguing that it almost like you've humanized the general to them of like this person who's just having an affair, like it could be any of you. But they just kind of break off. But there are some who are saying, well, if your product is as important and as good as you say, perhaps there is room for another investor that, well, I can't argue that the general has sway over this city, a significant amount of finances. You don't have to worry about his bankruptcy or his struggles and debts. I would happily invest in something of this if you can prove, in a manner of speaking, that these crystals are profitable in some manner.
I'll tell you what, we will have a demonstration for you. We will invite you to our residence. We will show you these crystals, and we will provide a demonstration. But before we do that, it sounds like we need some more wine for everyone. Where is the wine, people?
There is a jolly kind of cheer and rabble of just like raising glasses and everyone looking for, and waiters and bartenders do swing around with glasses of champagne and wine and just other things that are just kind of people are just continuing the party and indeed continuing drinking. What else do you try and convince these people of?
So yeah, we're talking, and let's just say the general comes up again and says, you know, I understand love. I understand the passion of the heart. But what I don't understand is when it interferes in good decision making. You see,
I totally agree.
I've heard that there could be a coup. I've heard that there may be people that are not happy with the general's leadership. And this kind of instability is unacceptable, especially to Susie. When she strikes a deal, she expects it honored or heads are obliterated. Not rolling, obliterated.
Would a coup of the general not benefit your businesses? I thought that was your strife.
On paper, yes. But you see, coups are not necessarily quick, and they are not painless. They can take time. They can lead to civil wars. I have no time for such business.
That's a fair
And
point.
I hope you have your affairs in order because it could affect yours too.
That's a good point.
Regardless, do not do business with the general. You will be in mountains of debt and receive nothing from him.
I mean, some of us have profited greatly from this conflict, so to speak. A coup, in theory, for some of these businesses could provide great dividends if played correctly.
Let's just say, though, right at this moment, his word is as good as his ball size. And I've heard it's not very big.
You know, we did hear that as well. That is an odd, for a figure of such legendary status, it's odd the size of his testicles has become such a point of contention.
Quite rotund, but minuscule. I've never heard of such a thing.
I wonder if this Perry has begun this rumor themselves in a spiteful manner.
That would make sense.
Absolutely.
Perhaps he is not satisfying their needs quite as well as needed.
A man of such power needs balls of such size. Like,
that is a good point. That is, you're making a lot of sense. Fine. Okay. you've convinced us that a coup would be troublesome, and that's a fair point. But in truth, we're not the ones who make or break the decision making here. If you have connections to the lady, is it not best in your best interest to empower her and aid the lady's people in some manner, and then thereby fixing your business? And should we invest in said business, us as well?
Well, yes, we have talked to her, and she's aware of these problems, and she has offered support, but she says she cannot fully intervene. She says this is a matter for the people to decide. And if it's to be a civil war, thus it's to be a civil war. But let's just say that is what we completely cannot have. A civil war would not benefit anyone. If this is to happen, it must be quick and it must be precise.
You guys begin to hear people kind of break off into smaller conversations, reminiscing negatively of the last civil war when the general first took power in the hive, and just discuss and like remembering some of them were young, some of them were their businesses were affected negatively, and kind of agreeing with what you're saying. Some of them make a point of arguing again that like they actually profited quite greatly off of the need for some of what they provided to the both sides, essentially, both the resistance and the incoming general and his troop. You can see that there's oddly like no judgment for which side of the conflict that these people have supported. They're all in this same scummy middle pieces of shit, like just making money off both sides. However, I want to point out something as Hondo, you're in the middle of this kind of encounter. You guys have been here a while. Alana, you can feel that kind of the tattoo, its magic is beginning to wane. Your disguised self will shift and end in the next 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll run to a washroom, and if there's like a bathroom stall,
Sure.
then I'll just like do that.
Will I pick up on that?
I mean, seeing her kind of rush off like that and knowing the effect of the spells that you guys have done, you would understand like and knowledge of like your own disguised self is going to drop and be in need of being re-upped, but you can do it pretty quickly. You probably don't want to be the center of attention when it does happen, and you're in the same boat of 2 to 3 minutes, but Allie just doesn't have a choice in re-upping. So you'll need to kind of re-up yours in a subtle way, but Allie, you make your way to the bathrooms and very quickly find they are occupied in certain manners, but you're able to kind of slip in unnoticed, lose your disguise, and slip back out unnoticed.
I'll because I guess I'll have like a cloak on, and I'll just kind of tie my hair back in a ponytail so it's not obviously bright flaming red, and then I'll walk out to where Hondo is.
You got it. There is, given the amount that these people have drank, there is not a huge shift in like the surprise of this new figure, but you do get a couple of like glances from people who are like, you look different. That's okay. And they just continue on with like talking to Hondo. Hondo, you're coming down to like 2-3 minutes of your spell as well.
So I'll say, Susie's departure indicates that we must leave. She has received an important message. We must tend to business. But let me leave you with this. You may have benefited in the last civil war, but in this one, you will not. Because if you are on the wrong side, you will be eliminated. There will be no peace agreements. There will be no forgiveness. You will be taken out. So be careful who you support. Now, if you would like to do business with us, we welcome your business. We will arrange a demonstration for you, and we say bring lots of money because you will want to be in on this. And just remember, the general is bad business. And then I will leave.
That was like a politician. It was so wonderful.
Swirl the cloak, and on his heels, the three of you depart with especially Gord's perception and just kind of having listened to all of this. You can hear there's a lot of discussion of like, well, one, there's a lot of investment in this power crystals business that people are thinking this could be big. This could be the next thing. But there is a lot of discussion about perhaps the profiteering made off of the coin may not be worth it, and perhaps it is time to really properly invest into sigil in the right way. But people are still discussing. It's not set in stone, but at the very least, the conversation has really picked up. As you guys make your way out, we'll say about an hour in, Boone and Mary, you guys are making your way across the city. Go ahead and either each of you make perception checks or one of you with advantage.
Mary, why don't you do this with advantage? Sure. Mary and I were sharing that power crystals are cryptocurrency in the chat.
Just trying to get people to invest in.
And then Mary said they're NFTs.
They're NFTs. I'm saying business Hondo is...
Hot business, get in. To the moon.
To the moon, baby.
It certainly won't crash in a couple of days.
Oh man, Mary would punch business Hondo in the face so hard.
And I will say the demonstration will be the blowing up of the building.
Like, honestly, you guys...
That's pretty cool.
That was wonderful. That was so fun to watch.
I can't wait for Hondo to change on them.
Apologies to if there are any like gnome civilizations nearby.
Wow. We have a lot of gnome viewers too, and that was troubling.
Yeah, there's definitely some racism that did not go unnoticed, yet didn't disturb their interest in your business.
They're too rich to care.
They're all like that.
So
I rolled a 23, by the way.
Is that with advantage, or were you rolling solo?
Yeah, with advantage.
Okay. Over the hour that it takes to get out of the market ward and into the edge of the sorry, I'm trying to find my map. There it is. The hour it takes you to get out of the market ward into the edge of the guild hall, you find no sign of the cager kind of distributors, but you do catch that you see a significant presence in the market ward of the mercy killers. You don't currently have a tail. After such time, you're very confident that they haven't tailed you, but you definitely saw a significant presence actively kind of standing watch, standing guard. And as you're making your way from market to guild hall over the next hour and 2 hours, you are seeing just more and more of them throughout the city streets. And you're seeing some kind of semi-aggressive action from them. They're taking a point to clear people who are like loitering in front of businesses and things. And they're kind of taking a weird hard stance on things that seemingly have been not an issue in your time in the city. Is there anything you guys do as you're witnessing this? Or are you trying to kind of pass stealthily? Or are you trying to keep an eye on for certain things? You're about halfway at this point.
Problem. People think of them as the ladies' men. If they're being assholes to the common man, why the fuck would they fight for her?
Didn't it feel kind of weird? They were just so aggressive when they were in the sewers with us.
I mean, there's always corruption. It's just gotten far. Maybe there's something, maybe the lady's word is getting interfered with before it reaches people. Or before it reaches people who are doing her bidding.
Remember, the Devas showed up to tell us the mercy killers were coming. The Devas, we know for sure, work directly with the lady. I'm gonna try and eavesdrop on one of them when they're trying to like move someone, or maybe you should do it because I'm not really that stealthy. I carry a huge.
I can try to watch them, and I don't have to get super close. I just need to be able to see their faces.
Oh, you can do that? Great. Here, I'll
as long as
angle
they're speaking
myself.
common.
look at me, but actually look at them.
Sure.
So you post up for a little while? Just to,
Yeah,
like, watch a
I'll
little bit?
pretend. I'll take out the notes and pretend I'm like, like a tourist who has like too many notes and is like just trying to look at their pages and stuff.
Sure. Mary, go ahead and make a perception check.
Actually pretty good. That's 24, 17 plus 7.
You watch as someone is kind of coming out of like another side street, and you see they're carrying, like, they've got this 2 boxes, and there's like a smaller kind of like an apple box, and then another box that has got handles on either side and seems kind of weighty. They're kind of heavily carrying it, and they come out of the street almost kind of directly across the street from you, and then ahead by 20 or 30 feet, still within visual range pretty easily. And that figure doesn't necessarily catch your eye at first. You see lots of these similar folks, people just coming about, doing business, taking things from here and there, going home, going out for the night, who knows. But you watch as these 2 mercy killers watch as they're kind of coming up the street, and this figure sets down the one box, the heavier box, takes the apple box and sets it onto the side, and then kind of shifts it and unloads a couple of things and begins pulling out one of the cagers. And it's one of the kind of cager kind of the people who are handing out the paper, and they're calling out, and you catch them calling out. And immediately as the mercy killers kind of get up to them, there's a hard kind of check from one mercy killer into the side of that figure, and it kind of knocks him off the box. And the other grabs the box and hucks it into the alley or down the street where they came from. And Mary, you catch them saying, "The cager is dead. Stop shilling it. Direct from the lady. That word is no more. We told your boss already. Stop shilling it. This will be your last warning." And they take the paper that they was holding and just kind of shred it, and then just toss it as they keep walking.
I'll to Boone, got a pen, something to write with?
Yeah, no, probably not.
No, I don't.
Shit.
No, I don't even know if I'm literate, to be honest.
I don't know if I do either.
I can try and remember it in my head when you do
No,
it.
it's not. I was going to add something to our little posters here, but the guy with the cager. It's someone we want to get to. Here, come on. As soon as the mercy killer's gone, letting him like pick up his shit.
Yeah, they tear the one that he has and they chuck it, and the other is kind of like specifically kind of like kicked it and messed up the other paper, so it's all fucked up and messed up. And the 2 of them have continued on the street, headed back towards the market ward, and this figure is kind of trying to pick themselves up.
Yeah, I'll walk by, bring Boone with me, and walk by so it looks like I'm just going by, and the shit let me, I'll just start scooping shit up and pass it to him as if to be nice, and help collect all his shit and say, man, you think people would want the real word out here?
You watch as this kind of male, kind of thin, somewhat kind of gangly half elf, with kind of messy blonde hair, is kind of welcomes your help as you kind of come over, as he's kind of gathering up his just kind of damaged, and it kicked it into a bit of a puddle, and so the paper is completely soggy mess, and he's just kind of balling it up, and you gather up a couple. There's maybe 2 that are still usable, but he's kind of dejected and just kind of sits and looks up and says, I don't know who's on whose side anymore.
As I'm helping collect some shit, I'll say I grabbed a little handful from Boone before we came over, and just like, helping, oh, these ones are the crappy ones, put them in the garbage, and then just slide in a couple, like maybe at the top of in his box, and like hand his box back to him casually, like he'll find it later.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Sure. 14 plus 6, 20.
Okay. Yeah. He doesn't seem to immediately notice for sure, but it's placed well, very easily to spot. Not going to be misconstrued for garbage or anything.
Hey, where could we go to figure out who rats the cager? We kind of had some stories for them we wanted to share.
Well, I don't know what kind of luck you'll have, but it's in the clerk's ward. It's called the Cager, free press, the Independent Daily. It's got kind of a couple of names, but it's all the same place. The editor's name is Asmodeus Cerulean. He's a good man. I just don't know what we're supposed to do with this anymore.
I mean, maybe you can't stand on the street and pass it out. The word still needs to get out somehow. Just gotta get a little more creative.
But the whole point is it's just free thinking, free speech. It shouldn't have to be clandestine and hidden. This is free. We're not charging people. I guess we're trying to convince people to do the right thing, but we're not inciting anything. Just trying to get people to think for themselves.
Maybe change is coming.
I hope so.
I'll take out one of those little papers, not having noticed. Here, you do it. And I'll just pass it to him.
Kind of looks up and down, gives it a quick
look.
look.
We found this. Apparently other people have too.
Make a deception check.
You got it. Boone Vedette, Deception Wizard. 8.
Charisma can't be too bad. Whoa!
It's pretty bad.
He kind of raises a little bit of an eyebrow. And looks at you for a second, but he looks at Mary. I've seen you before. Haven't you, yeah. There were stories of, well, he kind of gestures to the armor a bit. Stories of someone who was with the winged one in the market. Taking
Your second chances?
Yeah. Was that you? Was that both of you? People taking on the general?
That wasn't me, but...
She's not good at being recognized. It makes her a little nervous, but just honestly, we haven't been here long, but this shit's kind of fucked up. From the minute we've been here, we've seen shit's changing.
Listen, man,
they're trying to make sure people are on the right side.
They're trying to do something about it. That's why we wanted to talk to this guy, Asmodeus Cerulean. You're the only ones trying to spread the good word. They think they're going to do something about it real soon, and they want other people to know to not be afraid that their luck can change too.
I mean, we may only have 1 or 2 prints left. Someone does something.
Could you bring us to Mr. Cerulean? Maybe we could.
Gotta go back there anyways. I mean, follow me if you want.
Yeah, well, we'd be happy to escort you to make sure that none of these fucking mercy killers trying to do this to you again.
As long as I'm not handing it out, I guess they don't. This is new. This only happened today. Like, I heard one other of our group of the independents was roughed up by them, but now perhaps probably a bit more if I get back and find that they're really cracking down. This came out of nowhere, though. The Mercy Killers weren't our enemy. At least we didn't think.
Makes me wonder.
Tell you this, the lady, she wouldn't want this. What these Mercy Killers are doing.
Well, they're supposed to be her enforcement. Now we, I'll be honest, questioned it in our paper a couple of times, and we thought that they were acting a little independent. Didn't really jive with some of what the lady had done in the past, but some of it definitely did. I don't know, this just seems like a drastic shift. So either she's getting ready for something big, or
Someone else is pulling the strings.
it just seems crazy. How would someone be more powerful than the lady to have oversight over a faction?
Not sure if it's power. It could just be corrupted message. Just if someone, when you're people like that, you get an order. That's the order. Unfortunately, a lot of them don't question it.
I'm
That
thinking, what if
order's wrong? They're still gonna follow it.
maybe they ain't getting orders no more because the lady don't trust them. They're just trying to keep up this ruse. Either way, we got to get to your man. We're kind of on a crunch here. Mind if we go with you to Cerulean now?
Yeah, it's no good to sit here in the gutters. We may as well make a move. You'll have a better. I'm just a messenger, but if you guys really have something you think is worth saying, I'll lead you to Adonis.
You hear any stories about the blue one that showed up with them?
Well, he's been with the group with the wing guy, and
Yeah.
said there's a little bit of, there's a pretty big trail of blood that seems to follow him, if not the whole group. Not saying it's not justified, but
I heard
a report somewhat skeptically of some more aggressive nature from someone like him.
Hmm.
We didn't think it was the same group. We thought it was somebody else.
I hadn't heard that. But what I did hear about him is he has 2 coconut-sized testicles that he just swings around with him.
Seems uncomfortable.
That's the thing. It's totally comfortable for him.
Wow.
You ever see him sitting?
No.
That's why.
He starts like leading you off down the road, discussing.
I have to take the back because there's no fucking way I keep a straight face during that conversation. I need to be behind this guy.
It is another hour or so before you guys make it to the exterior of what looks like a kind of a nondescript brick building. There are kind of open windows letting in night air, but you can see the inside is frantically busy with lots of people moving about, and there is multiple chandeliers that are lighting the interior, and it's kind of casting a very, very bright light. Many candles, keeping the interior well lit and casting that light out into the street. It's kind of glow of firelight. And you can see that there is the open windows show you, and the walk up shows you that there are maybe 15 to 20 people actively like moving and constantly kind of shifting and talking. It's a low din of constant discussion. And clearly from door to the back, you can see there's a walkway in between all these desks and tables. And you can see that there's this large wall on one side. There's an open kind of office with a door, this kind of glass windowed office. But on the main wall, you can see in big, bold kind of letters, the Independent Daily, and standing beneath it with about 15 different kind of pieces of parchment all up on a wall, you can see the back of this blue-skinned figure. Clear, bald head and wearing relatively well looking tailored kind of robes that kind of come down about halfway, and well-tailored trousers on the bottom. As he's just kind of pointing out to a couple of other people around, is kind of like going about discussion, and the courier kind of points and says, "That's a Dynast there. Maybe wise to just wait for a break in the action and try and catch him, but if what you got to say is important, it may stop what he's doing anyways. Maybe worth interrupting."
It just stresses Mary out immediately. There's a lot of people talking very fast and rushing around. And
he says, I gotta go let some people know what happened and, do my job.
This isn't the same dude from the bathhouse, is it?
I thought there was someone who had a connection there who was at the bathhouse, and I
think that was just a rich guy who was chatting with someone. Yeah.
Yeah, the only guy who I know you would have connected at the bathhouse was Ignacio.
That was him. Yeah, I'll step up. I'll step up to. Is it Dynast?
A Dynast.
A Dynast. There's an A there. Okay.
There's like.
Look at Mary and step towards him.
There's like 4 or 5 people who are around him as they're just kind of discussing what to do. Right now, they're discussing the reaction to what you've seen. This seems to, you kind of catch, both of you catch as you get close. Adinus kind of slam a fist down with a handful of papers angrily as he says that the whole day has been shot. These mercy killers are shutting down free speech. How are we not telling people?
Well, we think you should tell people.
Kind of turns and you can see this what looks like either there's like elemental in nature to the skin, to the features, but it's difficult to tell exactly what, or if mixed with something else, but there's this faint kind of stubble that is like this kind of white stubble all around the chin and face, like crystalline eyes that are just like piercing, but full color, no whites, and just like this furrowed brow and like kind of a stern, kind of squared jaw and smooth bald head, as he turns and says, "Who might you be?"
Well, we met your friend. He was someone else who got accosted, and I don't know if she looks familiar to you, but she was one of the people involved in the fight outside Second Chances. I know you're familiar with the wing guy because I read it in the paper the next day.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't there myself, but one of my trusted reporters saw the event and did a pretty good report write-up of it.
Well, the lady don't want this. It makes me think that the Mercy Killers are operating on their own or someone else's agenda. But it ain't right.
Well, I agree on the second part, but what makes you think the lady doesn't want this?
Because she said we're the Knights of Sigil.
He kind of nods off to some people. They kind of scurry away, and he kind of touches his head and brings you guys close, kind of just tucked away a little bit, still in the open area, but just closer. Kind of rubs his brow for a second. Let me get this straight. You had a chat with the Lady of Pain, and she dubbed you Knights of Sigil. Both of you?
A little more complicated than that. Let's just start with the Devas. Freaky ass, very sketchy looking things. They work for her. There's no doubt of that. They're her eyes and ears, correct?
Best we can tell, sure, yeah.
They have the strongest connection with her.
Well, they don't seem to respond to anybody else. But they don't really speak
No.
to maintain allegiance, but
We
you
were
seem to only act in
attacked.
her interest.
We were attacked by some mercy killers. And a Deva warned us they were coming. Why the fuck would the lady warn about her own forces coming to attack someone?
You watch it. He kind of pulls out this small little notepad and flips it, and like produces like a thin, like pencil, like charcoal, and just begins kind of just like noting things in this little, like not even looking at it, just like looking at you and writing into the palm.
Oh, look, dude, I'm not your face for any of this shit. I'm just trying to help you out and trying to get shit done.
Look, I'm just listening right now. None of this goes anywhere until I know your names and I can back who you are. But I'm happy to listen to a story, whether it's true or false. I'll figure that out for myself.
What if we figure it out in a black and white way? I can cast using magic. Little radius around us, and you can be assured that we'll all be telling the truth. You can verify that any way you want. Anything spoken inside it will be true.
Well, according to you, sure.
You can
It's hard to
verify
say.
it yourself.
You can test it yourself.
All right. We're in a safe space.
I'll like touch the top of the glaive and just like slice a little bit on my finger, and then just like trace it in this 15-foot radius around us. And blade will shimmer a little bit. I'll cast second level Zone of Truth.
Okay.
Cool use of the spell. That's a good idea.
He watches all of this happen. Do both of you attempt
I
to
fail.
resist, or you just let it
No, I'm not
happen?
going to resist.
No,
I mean,
I'll
he's
go.
going to try and resist it, of course. But doesn't.
Great.
There's no
Test it.
immediate effect, but good.
Test it out. What's your fucking name?
Medina Cerulean.
Try it again and say something different.
What you're proving is that you've cast a spell on me.
Fine, ask me something fucking embarrassing. I don't give a shit.
But you could lie.
This is a metal arm. I got it because the general cut off my other one.
You see the notes kind of just begin writing again. Where'd you get the arm? That's a pretty impressive piece of tech.
They gave it to me.
Where'd you get the arm?
Material plane.
That's a very non-specific answer for someone in the zone of truth.
Okay, fine. This weird fucking space-time bubble thing created by Mordenkainen, technically 500 years in the past, belonged to a bunch of dead wizards. We found that. We found a shield on my back, too. I don't think I have anything else on me. Had to fight a dude who, it turns out, killed my fucking parents because I got to go in the back universe. It was a rough fucking week. After that, literally fought Primus.
I don't know half of those people, but I believe you.
I don't lie normally. I tend to keep things to myself, but I don't see the point in that here.
I'm not good at lying.
Actually, I'm also really bad at it.
Both of you make persuasion checks.
I'm not so very good at this either, but
I'm decent at that.
14.
16.
Okay.
Yeah, my persuasion's only +1.
All right. Well, let's say for the time that I believe you and that you're going to tell me the truth.
Things
Were
are
you the-
happening.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, you keep going.
He looks at Mary and says, "Did you fight the coin in the market ward 3 nights ago?
Yeah, and a bunch of times since.
Why?"
Well, specifically because we made ourselves known by trying to help someone who they were fucking with, and they wanted to teach us a lesson. That backfired real fucking bad because they didn't know what they were dealing with. And at the time, we didn't know what we were dealing with either. We thought they were a bunch of fucking idiots shaking people down for money. They showed force, it was a decent force, but it wasn't enough.
And
Here's
then
the thing, too. The winged one. You heard about that crazy disturbance out in that one coin warehouse? Reports of like dragon flying or some shit like that.
that we did here.
The winged one, he died then. The general killed him. But here's the thing. The lady brought him back.
She didn't just do it out of the goodness of her heart. There were fucking trials involved. There was a deal made in order to make that happen.
There we go. What was the deal?
She doesn't like the unrest in the city. Ever since the general got here, things have been going to shit. He's been taking over, pushing back. Lady wants him out. She wants things to change.
Why now?
Because things are going to escalate on his side very quickly.
Seems like he's making something. He's doing something. He's trying to take this whole place over.
He's making a play sooner than later. And it needs to be squashed before
I can
this
give you
whole
an-
place is attempt to be his.
This part I can give you is off the record, if you're willing to accept that.
All right. Takes his hand off the pencil and
I think it has something to do with Accurate. I know that from the coin, and I'm sure you've heard. They've been harassing a bunch of people from the foundry. Seems like
caught
they're
a
trying
little bit.
Seems like they're trying to build something with that.
Okay.
But we don't want them to know that we know that.
Because what we're going to do is try and go in, disrupt that, and then kill the general.
How do you plan to do that?
Well, she
That-
did give us some tips about maybe how to do that. But
I
she's made to say.
absolutely cannot share that. Only because, as you understand, first of all, that's information you don't want to fucking know
Any
for your
information I
own
want
fucking
to know.
safety. And if you, like you said, people need to hear things that are actually happening. Can't happen if their fucking editor of the only paper in town's dead because someone wanted information from him. So
I understand. You also have to understand I need to know all sides before I can say a single word.
sure.
That's totally fine. I'm sure you can understand the Mercy Killers are acting a lot like the Crimson Coin now. Roughing people up, shutting down free speech.
That's how it started.
Lady don't want that. All we want people to know is that we are going to make a stand against it. We're going to set a signal, and with the other people's help, good people who want change, who don't want this oppression, if they can rise up too and help us, then we have a chance of making things right here again.
And to
Bad
be
one.
clear, rise up and help us doesn't mean taking the common man to go and fucking kill coin. We're not asking anyone to do that. It can just be causing fucking disturbance.
I mean, you see the trouble there. Anyone who causes disturbance against coin, well, they end up with a blade. It's not good. You've seen when people verbally stand against them, well, they end up dead. You think anyone taking aggressive action, directly or indirectly, aren't going to be spared? People are going to get bloody here. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I was here in the last Civil War. I fought in the last Civil War. Freedom of speech is, to me, more important than anything. Freedom of thought, well, that's above that even. In the city we live in, it's very restricted to think for yourself, to act freely, and to say what you think. My problem with what you're telling me is an outside third-party force is going to come in and say you're successful. You take out the one side. You just talked about the Mercy Killers beginning to go rogue, what sets them apart from being the next coin. They're already in position of power. They already have the means. They already have the might. Say they don't back the general. They could play off on their own. When the general's gone, the lady's forces are dwindled, and I don't imagine you're going to be here for too much longer. Unless you're making this your new home and you're taking position of power. Who fills the void?
I think good people try and fill the void. We know of other people here. The Resistance, the Smiths. There are good people who are looking for a spark to help make this kind of change that you're seeking. But they need an opportunity, and that's all we're trying to give.
Have you met with the Smiths?
We're trying
On our
to.
list.
It's part of our plan.
I have. The Smiths are good-hearted. They would follow, pardon me, they would follow in the same line of thinking as you. But their numbers are, well, if you got two hands, you got their numbers. They're not a force big enough to take on what you're talking about.
They don't need to be. You saw what those guys can do back at Second Chances. We just need to take down the head of the snake, and they're going to crumble.
It might not even be. Okay, how do I put this? You know that we want people to make their own decisions. Correct? Think for themselves.
Of course.
They need to be informed to do that.
That's what we're trying to do.
A little heads up that something's happening could mean, at the very least, pull the support of the coin if you need to, or get somewhere fucking safe, because it's equally important here.
Well, that's part of my concern and why I'm so stick in the mud to back you immediately. And I want to ensure that what you're saying is true, and I want to ensure what your intentions are true, because you start putting things in writing, trying to sway people one way or the other. People get hurt. And if it's my word that causes harm, that's on me. So I got to make sure the words I'm writing, I stand by. The consequences that come by, I accept. So, the Mercy Killers are either gone rogue or working with the general. And you and a number of powerful figures are looking to cut the head of the snake off. I don't need to know how, because it doesn't matter, even though it is likely a good story. I know how the unkillable will be killed.
Maybe it's a story that can be told after the fact.
I'm sure it will be. What would be your play? What would you have me say?
I would just have you report the facts. You don't need to put your opinion on it. You can just say that this is news you got, that people are looking for help to set things right, and that there'll be a signal. And then the good people can decide what they want to do with that. You can let them know. They can hide, they can fight, they can join whatever side they want, but just report what you know. Let other people decide how they feel about it.
What you're asking, kind of looks around at the building and says, what you're asking will mean the death of this place.
Well, I guess that brings up a secondary problem of how do you get the word out if mercy killers are taking your stash? You still got means of printing. What if, rather than people giving it out, I have a way to drop leaflets from the sky? Or at least help you do that.
If you want to help delivery, that's great. It's more what happens after it gets out. It's clear where it came from. And this kind of word's going to piss off at least two powerful sides.
Well, I'll be honest. Mary told me on the way over when we went in with your man that the mercy killer said the cager's dead. So you guys might have to pack up shop anyways.
That's not what I mean. I think you know. When I say this place is dead, the mercy killers, yeah, they've been telling us we're closing, not to print anymore. But the general doesn't say it. He burns it to the ground with you inside. That's how you kill something. Can't print anymore. Now, I accept that. If this is to be the last thing, all right. I'd like it to be something to inspire. But there are good people who work here, who believe in this, and I think it deserves more than that. I gotta look for them as well as myself. More than myself. Any protections you can provide.
Of course. If you want them to come by second chances, Dane and Doc can be a safe harbor. We have a suite there. I know that they got deep pockets to protect people. But I would echo the same sentiment to you. Trying to make decisions for other people. And you gotta let them decide what kind of stand they want to make too.
Look,
Y'all want to die in the shadows, quiet, subdued, oppressed and censored? Or do you want to live? Do you want to tell people the truth and start some change?
you got that a little bit backwards. Happy to tell people the truth, but the truth will get you killed in a city like this. I don't shy away from that for myself. But there are other people who you got to look out for when you're in a position like this. I can't print this for tomorrow.
I don't think we'd want you to anyway. Too much of a heads up isn't necessarily a good thing.
I'll run it. Not tomorrow, but the next morning. We're too close to, well, we can't get what we got out for tomorrow. We're going to still try. But if anyone's going to run, take cover and get down, I'm going to give them the time to do that. And those who want to stay here and say what we're going to say. If they got anything they need shored up, then's the time.
For those that need to hide, bring them to second chances. Bring them to the foundry. We'll have opportunities for them to lay low, be protected.
Spread that word.
You happen to know about how we could get word to the Smiths?
It's not so much word getting to them as making the trek. They're
Gotta go all the way in, eh?
So they come out every now and again for supplies. If you keep a wary eye, you might catch them, but they're very smart to keep themselves covert. We had to send someone went in. It was a difficult and dangerous mission, but we learned some good information. Not much we could print without same information, same deal we're in here, but we're happy to support them. I'm happy to support you.
We appreciate that. We might try and get in touch with them. We heard where It might be, so thank you.
Wise. They're a bit of a front line of defense. They're right on the edge there. You know, they don't hold much back, but they could spread word fastest.
All right.
If the general's making any kind of moves. And if in the next day or so you can figure out anything more, you let me know.
We'll swing by.
The front page, front and center. He kind of takes the note that's been put in that Mary left in the box, kind of holds it up and says, I'm looking forward to the message you're looking to send. Sign. I'll send my message, you do yours.
Thank you. We'll follow through.
Understand.
So,
It looks like he said a bunch of third-party idiots with nothing to, what do we have to gain here? What do we have to lose here? I understand that. I guess it's just trust in we've been the ones pushed and shoved down in the past. I can't stand to see anyone living their life in a hole that only gets deeper. We're not here to gain anything. We're not here to, how do I phrase this so that it's not even a lie by accident? We have something we're trying to accomplish here. We have lots of things we're trying to accomplish here. But from what we've seen, the worst thing by far here is the general and the coin. At least for the common folk.
Mr. Sterling, can I be honest with you, sir?
I should hope you have no choice.
I did lie earlier to your man. I said that Mr. Blue had really big testicles, and I just thought it was funny, but I actually do not know if that is the truth.
I'll be honest.
Here's the thing, I have seen him
have
naked like a lot of times. And it's not like, it's not tiny, like it's got shit going on.
Sized
That's a little
balls.
much.
And I don't know. I just don't want you to print that after this, because then it would be like,
I mean, if you want to include a little note about how the general has tiny balls, that's something that,
we've heard that. We've heard that.
I'll keep it in the footnotes, maybe.
Okay. All right.
All right. That's enough of this shit for today.
We got to get back. We got an appointment to catch.
Yeah, it's going to get late. It's not safe to be out late these days, even for people of your level.
Listen, you have ears everywhere it seems. Before you go, is there any crazy ass rumors that you've heard about the coin that we need to keep an ear out for?
Yeah. Watch for a group of third-party fools looking to fight them.
We've heard that too.
The coin have picked up a significant portion of accurate in the last couple of months. I'm sure, as you already noted, I think it's more than most people think. More than the Foundry thinks anyways. A lot more. Any shipment that's come in, and they've sent people out to get it, they're doing something with it, something big. They've got an alchemist and a bit of an artificer. I understand she's been the one to kind of aid in their outfitting of kind of advanced technology that's going to help them be a little bit more troublesome. I think this Arcurite has certainly helped in some of that. Her skill has certainly helped in some of that. Perhaps it's someone worth looking to slow their roll a little bit.
Yeah, that's valuable info. Maybe we'll pay her a visit.
Something to consider.
Mr. Cerulean, we thank you very much for your time.
Likewise. When all this is over, I'd like to have a real conversation about some of this as well. Off the record, of course.
The other one, the wing one, he just won't stop talking ever since he undeaded himself. It's been a lot.
Knights of Sigil. A long time since we heard that.
The night's coming. Night of the Knights. I'm just coming up with headlines like cool stuff you could use. I don't particularly rap very well.
Oh. There's a little bit more finessing to do there, but I'm sure there's some play with the knights to be done.
I'm not good at finesse.
That's all right.
Uno like scuff the bloody like circle, and the spell will just.
He kind of gathers some people around and starts just kind of dispersing bits and pieces of what he needs done. And there's just like some hushed discussion, and he just kind of turns just as you guys are kind of beginning to kind of make your way out, and just says, "Don't die out there. At least not before it's done." Message will be out there, whether we're alive or dead.
Appreciate you.
Good luck.
Talk to you soon.
He goes back to his people as you guys make your way out.
I feel so bad I lied to that junior reporter about Mr. Blue's balls. I just thought it would be funny.
I know. It's, to be fair, it was like, who could possibly handle something like that?
Having balls that size?
Yeah, I just don't understand the logistics of it.
I feel uncomfortable explaining it to you.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know that I really want to know.
Okay. We could walk in silence for a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be great, actually.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
Is there anything else you guys want to do between now and your return to the market ward?
Try and stay away from Mercy Killers if you see them. I think I'll just be trying to keep an eye out for that. Coin and Mercy Killers, maybe just trying to get us back as stealthy as we can.
Okay. Mary,
I'll just try to catch random conversation, like same thing I was doing before. Every time we're walking through the city, trying to catch random conversations, lip reading anyone who looks like they might be kind of like hushed, and see if there's any other rumors out there, if any of the shit we talked about has spread any further, and potentially keeping an eye out, because we're in the same area, for God, I'm so bad with names today. Any of those people that we ran into, we went to, and we randomly like Scott said, had to like meditate in that guy's fancy training pavilion. Keeping an eye out for anyone who might be wearing that kind of shit.
Okay, that's a lot.
But yeah, just sorry. Let's slim it down. Let's mostly keep an eye out for those kinds of people, or anyone else that, like, while doing that, we have extra leaflets. And like potentially like doing the whole like kind of passing and accidentally nudging and like shoving in pockets and bags and until we're out of them.
Between both of you, you're able to find a couple of people that fit the description, whether you're exactly sure, you're not entirely sure, but anyone who ends up with one of these isn't a bad target, just because it'll spread with at least some group. You don't see any Mercy Killers on the way back, and the few that you do see again in the market ward, you steer clear of, and don't incur any ill favor. One thing of just note, throughout the entire journey there and back, you've seen no sign of Coin. Just something to
Oh,
keep.
I actually don't think that's a good thing. They're getting ready.
Something of note. Jumping back to Elena, Hondo, and Gord, you guys have departed from the bathhouse, and the second part of your plan was to kind of search out some seedier areas in the market ward to kind of begin a little bit of whisper campaign amongst them as well, and a little bit of kind of along the same lines what they just did, kind of a little bit of inspiring those who to fight for themselves and such. So
From Ponzi scheme to anarchy.
yeah. So as you guys go out, why don't I get all three of you to make investigation checks and see that you can't find interesting places, interesting people.
I got a 9 roll.
Okay.
And investigation.
I got a
Oh.
5.
It's
5
an
total.
expertise.
19, baby.
19, 5,
So 10 and 13, 23.
23. Okay. Alana, still reeling from some of the effect of the bathhouse journey, things you saw, things you heard. You're just kind of now following with Hondo and Gord throughout the city, and less looking specifically for some of these structures and just kind of following in their lead, hoping to keep them out of trouble. Both Hondo and Gord, as you kind of divert from the main drag that you've been on, where Second Chance is in the markets that you've been in, begin kind of taking side roads and taking a kind of wider berth into some of the lesser traveled areas. And it's a lot of residential and just like smaller like businesses that don't have necessarily storefronts or like warehouses. A couple of places though catch your eye as taverns or inns of some kind. One of them is just a regular like inn. Doesn't seem like it has the right clientele. You kind of give that a little look-see. And as an hour passes of you kind of sussing out, you kind of come to an area at a corner where there's a stairs down at the side of a building. It seems to be like kind of an apartment or something like to that effect. But there's stairs down that lead into what looks like a simple looking bar, kind of tucked down into the basement, into the street itself. That seems to fit the bill. You guys want to check this one out?
Sure.
So I'm gonna have to disguise myself as a coin again, right?
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. You disguise yourself as coin.
Oh, let me do the spell.
And Alana and Gord, are you? You can't disguise yourselves, but do you want to go in as coin alongside Hondo, or do you want to go in separate?
I'll go in separate,
Okay.
just to be safe.
Gord, are you accompanying Alana or Hondo?
Hondo.
You got it. And who goes in first, coin or Alana?
I'd say let Alana go in first.
Okay. Allie, you make your way inside, and as you take the steps down into this kind of sunken, semi-underground tavern, there's faint windows along the one wall, just to let in a little bit of light from the street, and it's a very dimly lit tavern, and it is actually kind of reminiscent of some places of dwarven make, because it's kind of sunken down, and it has that underground feel. You can feel it's cooler, and there's that the kind of smell of dirt and rock, like natural stone, and it's actually kind of a nice like reminder of some of your early days, and even some of the clientele is reminiscent of that. You can see people playing cards at tables. There's gambling. There's plenty of people at a simple looking bar, and no booths, just a series of tables, and some people just like sitting on empty barrels that are kind of around the space. It looks somewhat ramshackle, but it's about busy with 15 to 20 or so people in here having a relatively quiet night of drinking and gambling. But it seems seedy enough to be what you're looking for. What do you do?
I'll just kind of go up to where the bar is at the front.
Mhm.
and I'll ask for a drink.
You can see the bartender back there. You can see this Goliath figure is wearing like kind of like a muscle shirt essentially, and it's just kind of tattered. But he's just wearing that, and you can see the huge muscle figure, tattoos all over, bald head, as is typical of Goliath, and this kind of like weirdly like jaw that like kind of sticks out, this like solid chin, and he looks down at you and just says, "What kind of drink you looking for?"
Do you have any mead?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, mead. I thought someone of your stature might be looking for something a little heftier. You're all right with some mead?
What do you got?
I got a little bit of everything. Just picked up a cask of some dwarven ale.
Well then, I'll have one of those then.
All right, I get you that. It'll be 5 silver.
Okay, I'll give him the 5 silver.
He gets you over like this huge kind of tankard of ale, and you just kind of, it takes you both hands to kind of grab hold of it, and just kind of gives you a nod. It says, "I hope you enjoy. Or if you need anything, over here." And he just kind of goes over to the side and he's just kind of working on. Seems you're working on like a keg, like one of the taps. But, you just kind of hang at the bar.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang at the bar for now, and then I'll wait to see when Hondo comes in and hear what they say, and then.
Okay. With Allie posted at the bar, drinks in hand, Hondo and Gord, what are you doing?
So I'll walk in. I guess.
Before you do, what do you look like?
So I look like a regular foot soldier.
Like human?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna look around. Do I see any like coin soldiers at the bar type thing? Somewhere I could go sit.
Make a perception check. Okay.
6, but I might be proficient. Let's see. Yeah, I am. So 10 and 14, 24.
Okay. As you come in, you can see Alana at the bar. You immediately clock her. And you can see there's, like I said, about 15 or so, maybe up to 20 people total. At the bar, Alana and like 2 other figures, obviously not Alana, but the others don't kind of spark anything to you. But at a table, kind of in the middle of the room, but towards the far side, you can see there are 3 figures sat at the table. They're not openly wearing coin clothing. Nobody in here is sporting the crimson coin kind of cloaks or anything like that. However, you can see kind of slung over the back, you can just make out the barrel and butt of a long range like gun that you've seen them wield, and you haven't seen anybody else wield. And that, with that perception, kind of sparks that like that guy at least has got the technology of one of them.
Is Alana sitting near them?
Should
I sit near them?
Maybe 10, 15 feet of Alana.
Okay. So I'll sit near them.
Okay.
And I'll order a drink.
Sure. The Goliath, as you kind of sit at the table in the middle of the room, Gord sits alongside you, unless he chooses not to. I don't know if he's back from the bathroom or wherever he went.
I will.
Okay. The 2 of you sit, and maybe a minute or 2 passes as the Goliath kind of calls over the bar and says, "What can I get you?"
Get me. Oh wait, let me change it. Get me your strongest, and something for that table too. The strongest you got.
It kind of looks over the other table. The 3 guys who have kind of cards in front of them kind of look over at you and just kind of look at the bartender and give a shrug. He says, "I'll run you a couple of gold. You all right with that?"
Well, I found a few easy prey, let's say, today, so I got a few gold.
All right. And he just kind of recedes back into the bar and starts kind of assembling a couple of drinks. As a minute passes, you see the 3 at the table. They've kind of they're still got their cards in hand, but they haven't played anything in a minute now. And the one with the rifle is kind of looks across the guy in front over towards you and just kind of says, thanks, I guess.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm finding these last couple of days have been tough. People just don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting couple of days, I'll say that.
And the worst is, I don't know if you've heard, but the general, he's just losing it. Like, I don't know if you heard about the gnome affair.
At this point, the Goliath is kind of dropping the drinks off at the other table, 3 glasses, and he comes over and drops 2 drinks in front of you and Gord. And you can see it looks just like water, like it's just, but you can immediately smell this like in super, super strong, like moonshine. And he looks to you and says, for 5 of those, going to be 10 gold.
You got it. Here's 11.
All right, thanks. What were you saying about a gnome?
I don't know if you've heard, but part of the reason why this town's going to shit is because the damn general's having an affair with the gnome.
He looks over at the other guys and looks back and says, the fuck are you talking about?
He's so infatuated by this gnome that he's making all these stupid decisions, and now there's going to be a bloody coup.
You're saying that he kind of looks over the other table and looks back at you and notices like your get up and says, you saying the coin are going to rise up against him or leave?
Sorry, say the last part again.
The coin are going to rise up against him or leave?
Yeah, he's losing it. People have lost respect for him. I mean, it's bad enough that he apparently has balls the size of marbles, but now we got to deal with this gnome character. We got to deal with this coup. Like, come on. This is not how you run a town.
I'll overhear that and I'll kind of interject pretending I don't know who Hondo is. Mm-hmm. And I'll just be like, oh yeah, I've heard that too. I heard that earlier today.
It's spreading fast. I mean, I'm here with the weasel. Pointing to Brock. He's my guy. He's my ear in the city. He's telling me that there's a bunch of citizens, they're ready to strike if this coup doesn't happen.
You know, I have heard
That's what I heard. I'm the weasel.
The talk in the bar has just ceased, except for these conversations that you're having. As the Goliath like takes back his like tray. I actually have heard that there's some fighting in the city. Someone's looking to make a move against the general. Maybe it's because of this whole coup. Might be some weight to that. Kind of looks around at people and then says, just like dismisses himself back to the bar.
Oh, would the 3 guys that would they still be like engaged, or are they also gone back to doing their own?
Yeah, they're still there.
Okay. So saying like, I'm hearing a lot of shit. I'm hearing citizens they're growing some gumption, and they're fighting back. One of my partners, he got his throat slit for nothing.
The guy
because they don't fucking fear the general because he's so love-struck by this gnome.
The guy like takes a swig of the drink and just kind of coughs for a second. Says, buddy, I don't know what part of town you're kind of getting into, but I'm still finding people are pretty threatened when he kind of pats the top of the rifle and he says, when you bring out the guns, people start not worrying about shit like that.
And I hear you, but I mean, this guy, the weasel, he knows. He's been talking. He's one of them. He's been talking. I'm hearing that there's going to be a big explosion. There's going to be some anarchy coming. And the lady, she doesn't care either.
The three kind of turn in their chairs now fully to kind of turn and engage with you guys. And they say, well, that's good then. The lady doesn't care, and there's going to be explosions. We could take advantage of that.
All I'm saying is we've got to be ready, because if the general's not going to look out for us, we're going to have to look out for ourselves. And I don't know who's going to rise up. I don't know what's going to happen, but we got to put our own skins first.
I mean, he's looked out pretty good for us so far. He pays us well, feeds us, got a nice place to stay.
Well, I've heard that's not going to last long because he doesn't have much. They've been running up debts. They're not doing too well. This is all smoke and mirrors.
Make a deception check.
16.
Ooh.
And I think I'm plus 16, so 32.
The other guy at the table, one of the other guys, kind of nudges the guy with the gun and says, "We've been spending a lot of money on that metal. We've been taking shipments and shipments, you know. I know we're taking some of it, but like, there's a lot of coin coming out. The stash house I was at yesterday was looking thin. Maybe he's got a point."
No, I don't know who's spending what. I don't know what the general's doing with that coin, but it's not making it down here, or it's not making it to the right people. I'm hearing business owners are getting frustrated because they're not getting their money back.
Well, fuck the business owners. Who gives a shit about them?
Hey, they're the ones with the coin. If they're not getting paid, don't be surprised if we see some mercenaries coming through here, slicing our throats.
That seems like a big jump, really. But, I mean, a lack of coin is actually concerning. That's a pretty big reason why I'm with the general. With the coin in the first place was the coin.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm telling you again, it's that gnome, Perry. He wants the metal. He wants it for the jewels. He's the one. He's the one, you know, he's the puppet master here.
How long?
Perry Washburn?
Yeah, Perry Watt. That's it. Yeah, I'm not the only one here. I'm not crazy.
That's crazy.
The three guys are like, who the fuck is Perry Washburn?
You don't know Perry Washburn? He's huge around here.
How? Wait, I've been in this city for 10 years. I grew up here. I've never heard of a Perry Washburn.
Then he's doing his job.
I'm so confused. Wait. He points at Weasel. He points to Gord and says, "You've seen a gnome with the general at the garrison house?"
I've seen it with my own 2 eyes.
Make a deception check.
19.
Yes.
Oh, fuck. All right. What should we do? The other guy, the guy with the gun, says, he kind of slaps him and says, "Knock it off. We're not doing anything. Who gives a shit if the general's fucking a gnome? What does that matter? If there's coin that's thinning," maybe he kind of looks in your direction and says, "Maybe we start shaving a little bit for ourselves, just to make sure that we're all safe."
Might as well. You guys are doing all the work after all.
It's true. We're the ones out there. General hasn't left the garrison house.
Look, all I'm saying is we got to look out for ourselves. That means, yes, we got to take a bigger trim. But you know what? This coup business, I don't care. You know what? One day if he puts out a call to fight, maybe we just decide to stay home. Because what are we going to fight for if there's no money coming in? If he's got debts to pay, what are we going to do? Are we going to fight to collect those debts? That's not our problem if he's skimming.
What do we do when he comes at us?
Well, there's more of us than him. What's he going to do?
Well, he can't
Fight
be
for
killed
Perry's
for
dick?
one. Well, he can't be killed. So What are we supposed to do?
Can I just do an aside? Just brief. The heart that we've heard about, the sort of, do we know, like, is that something we know about? Is that something
you guys know about it,
okay.
But you're not sure what it is. It was kind of alluded to that part of the lady's kind of thing to bring him down is to strike the heart kept safe. You're just not sure what that heart means. You guys have to kind of suss that out yourselves.
Maybe okay, good. Back to it.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that he can be defeated, but I don't know how exactly. But I know somewhere in the city lies the key to defeating him.
Where'd you hear that?
The weasel here.
The three guys look at the weasel and all together look at you, Gordon, and say, "Where'd you hear that?"
I know a guy who knows a guy.
Well, then what does the guy know? What can defeat the general?
Love.
Under my breath, I'll just go, Perry Washburn.
These three guys just like finish their drinks and just like, so if he falls in love, he might not be immortal. Or if his heart is broken and he has no love, he might not be unkillable.
The way I understand it, it has something to do with a heart. Whether it's a broken heart, I'm not sure. But he is not immortal. He can be defeated.
Maybe we should kill Perry. And the three like, no. We've never seen Perry before. Well, maybe we should look out for Perry. No, all right. Looks over and says, if anybody sees fucking Perry Washburn, you slit that little fuck's throat. It's just kind of a group of people just, all right. Looks to you guys and says, well, thanks for the heads up, I guess.
Well, I'm saying we got to look out for ourselves. And remember, if he calls us out to fight, don't just jump to the gun. Okay, we gotta pay for our own debts. We gotta pay for our own families. We gotta look out for ourselves. So let's make sure we got this under control. Because we're not gonna die for this general. He wouldn't die for us.
I'll hold up my pint and be like, know your worth.
Exactly.
Know your worth, yeah. I mean, we're worth more than that. All right. The three of them just kind of fall into like this kind of quiet contemplation.
I guess I'll just down the rest of the drink. I'll be like, Weasel, let's get out of here.
They just kind of raise the empty glasses that they had. The one does. The other two guys are just kind of like lost in thought. And you guys exit. As a Lanite, you have your ale before you. You just knock it back.
Yep, I'll knock it back, and then I'll wait like 5-ish minutes so I don't go out with them, and then go out after.
In the 5 minutes between, not a word is spoken by any of those three guys. And then just as you get up, you hear the one just say, I'm going to kill Perry Washburn. And there's just kind of an agreement at the table as you make your way out into the night.
Man, I wonder what the kind of cool ass rumors this guys are spreading. I mean, like getting into the elite, really, really getting some folks to rise up. Like,
I think we gave them pretty good ideas as a starting point, so they'll probably just stick to the script.
With Hondo and Gord's investigation rolls, you guys, if you so choose, can repeat this act in another 2 bars.
Yes.
With how you played it out and with this same kind of move and disguise, I would say you could get 2 more similar such successes for at least three bars would be affected by this spreading rumor and disconcerting notion amongst the coin that you do find. And it takes you have to search for a couple of the bars to find another coin. But in the 3 to 4 hours to return by 10 o'clock, 10:30-ish, that you make your way back, I'd say 3 bars have successfully been infiltrated by your ruse. And a number of coin have kind of taken what you've instilled and hopefully continue the web of lies. But around between 10 and 11, closer to 11, you all begin to kind of return back to second chances. And as you all make your way back up in your various states to the room above, you make your way in, and Doc is sitting in the common area. Scott, it's up to you if Val would be up at this hour, or if he would have departed to go rest.
Tell him to be up, just because he's smarter than Ben.
In that case, I would say that he and Doc just casual chat, and has laid out before Valentine. And as all of you make your way in, you see 4 regular-sized healing potions. There are 3 greater healing potions, and so that's 3 is 450. Where's my thing? 4 is 200, 650, and he got 1 potion of poison resistance as well.
Cool.
And with a 50 gold left over.
Just give it to him.
4
4 regular, 3 greater, 1 potion of poison resistance.
Yep. So yeah, Val, you've verified that these are all perfectly good and collected, and Doc has just kind of been chatting, seeing how you're doing, and kind of did a little bit of a medical check on you just to make sure that everything is above board. Being out for an extra couple of hours and days, making sure that nothing is going to sneak up on you, but everything seems okay.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Of course. As you all return, 10:30, 11 o'clock, an hour-ish before, hopefully, you're to be met by somebody of the anarchists. Is there anything you guys want to do?
Can I, on the way back, because we kind of went through a couple different areas of the city, every 20 minutes or so, just try down the earring for Mordenkainen. I don't know where he is, but maybe we get lucky.
That's smart. That's a good idea.
Going through multiple wards and trying it, I will give you a higher percentage chance. So go ahead and roll percentile die for me.
Mm-hmm. 83.
Okay. 83 is within the range of success for me.
Shit.
So, I would say, as you're moving through to the as you're coming towards the end of the Guildhall ward, before it transitions into the market ward, you kind of just give it last shot before coming back into the market. What do you say? What have you been trying to say?
Just because it's the 50th time she's done that. Every time it's just all right, let's try it again. You in range? Am I talking to nobody?
As you finish, just kind of trailing off, says, Mary, is there something you need from me?
Oh, fucking hell, shit, I did not expect that to actually work.
Huh?
Just tap the earring. I'm talking to you.
Okay.
There's been developments. If you want to be filled in, maybe not now. I don't know how late you're up. Maybe in a couple hours.
A couple hours should be fine. I'll meet you in your suite.
Sounds good.
Good.
I'll let you know if things change.
Open the southwestern window.
That was cool as fuck. Okay.
He says no more.
Yep.
Who was that wizard guy you were talking
Oh,
about?
yeah. The like super crazy ass wizard dude. Gord has his staff.
Cool.
Dude's a
cool.
badass. He's a little hamstrung right now, but we can use all the help we can get.
All right.
Okay. Successfully, and then another hour or so back to second chances. You all have reconvened at this point, 11 o'clock-ish. What are you doing?
So what's the plan? We're gonna tell Little Horace and Phantom.
I think we need to set a date. Is the big thing.
Well, we got not tomorrow morning, but the next morning, a little newspaper article is gonna go out saying, "Hey, Matt's Sigil are gonna fuck shit up. Rise up, wait for the signal." So, Hondo, did you guys work out some sort of signal with some of the people you were talking to?
We did not discuss signals, no. We just said if the general says to come out and fight, stay at home.
You weren't working out some sort of like bring a bunch of rich people to a warehouse to show them some sort of crypto Ponzi scheme, and then you would set fire to it in a blaze of glory.
So we will blow up a warehouse,
Okay.
and as a demonstration to these people that the crystals are powerful devices.
Wait, what crystals? There's crystals?
Oh yeah, so I pretended to be a businessman who deals in these power crystals, yes. And some interested investors want to see how it works.
Okay.
So,
Are we actually scamming these people?
or is it going to be like?
Well, what we'll do is
Surprise.
we'll invite them to our
Yeah.
place.
Okay.
We will require a down payment,
So we're
You said it
scamming.
was a Ponzi scheme. Yeah.
and then we will take them to the warehouse. We will blow it up as a demonstration, and they will give us the rest of the money, or they will run away.
So were these like?
That's a demonstration of that.
So why don't you do like bring the rich people who seem like they're probably evil and rich and don't care about things, but we can like spook them and scare them, and then that warehouse explosion will be the signal for everyone else. We could pick a warehouse that's like coin associated or something.
Okay, but here's another question. God damn it, I can't with Hondo businessman. It's my favorite thing. Potentially this hey look, we're gonna show you some shit may have just been a way to get them interested, and it's something we actually need to follow through on. If the goal was just getting them to pull their money, we don't need to necessarily try to murder them, but it's nice to hear that there's some sowing extra distrust in at least the general's financial situation, and possibly, you know, how tiny his balls are, given I'm sure that came up in conversation at some point.
We talked about it.
Yep.
And we also brought up that he is having an affair with a gnome.
I know.
Oh, okay.
It's
Skip
very
past that part
watchable.
entirely.
I'm
Okay,
interested
but yeah,
in
let's
the
skip past
angle. Why?
Basically, this gnome is ruining his life and making
Okay.
him go bankrupt.
that. That's pretty good. All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
He's so in love that he it's just letting Perry do whatever he wants.
Perry's the gnome.
We've all
Yes.
had friends like that. They get in a bad situation. You don't know what to
Right.
do.
I'm
Listen, so
suddenly
I think we
glad
should
I didn't send you
focus-
to the newspaper.
Yeah, we
Uh,
should focus on the resistance coming tonight. We should tell them not tonight, but one more night. There's gonna be a signal.
How
And that
out of
signal
game?
is to fuck shit up.
How many points of exhaustion does everyone have still?
Hondo has 2,
So he's going to be fighting with 1 point down if we
which
do
is
this, right?
okay. I think that's just ability checks.
You'll
Yeah.
sleep
My-
tonight and lose one, and then, yeah, in theory, if
Oh no,
were to
he'll be
fight-
good.
Yeah, if you were, you should be. If you're 2, you'll get 1 rest, 2 rests before the
Yep.
cager
Okay.
goes out. So anyone.
Gord,
2
how many
or
do you
less-
Gord was at 3. He was like near death.
How many charges for what? Sorry.
No, you're
It's how many
exhausted.
points of exhaustion do you still have?
How
Oh,
exhausted
just
are
one.
you?
Oh, great. So
And
then,
Allie, you had corruptions, not points of exhaustion, right?
Yeah,
So those are all gone now? Which you
they're
look up?
gone. Yeah.
The long rest.
so we
Okay.
tell Horace tonight. Not tonight. Not tomorrow
tomorrow.
night, but the next night.
So it'd be
It's going down.
Just to give you a date, it'd be the 18th.
Be the 18th. How many days is the full moon?
It's the full moon is the 26th.
Holy shit, that's so not enough time.
Today is the 16th. It is coming to the end of the 16th right now.
That's plenty
Okay,
of time.
so the other thing to keep in mind, it doesn't have to be a night.
Well, we can decide that later. Would
Be
they
an
get the
afternoon.
resistance wait for the signal?
I mean, you got to let the paper get out before you do anything, right?
I know. I said an afternoon. Okay.
The signal
so,
could be it switches tonight. We blow up the warehouse. It's go time.
So the things that we need from the resistance, potentially scouting or help scouting. They are going to identify areas that might be good to hit, and then potentially people to do that in terms of distraction. Is there any information, because this phantom character said that they can find people, right?
If
Is
the
there anything
Phantom
we
could
need to-
get a message to the Smiths to try and get someone from the Smiths to meet us here, that'd be helpful.
If they have a connection.
They have a connection with the Smiths, bring a Smith person here, or if tell us where would they want us to meet them. We can meet them, tell them what's going on. Maybe they have tunnels or some shit to get us in there quick. Because while the rest of this, the plan would be blow up the warehouse as a signal, and then we have to get to the compound, get inside, cut the general once, go to his heart, kill the heart, kill the general. Everyone lives. Everything's happy.
We need a little more information about all that too. Like, we need to find a way to get an idea of where this is, what this Miser Drake is. Again, that's
Smiths
where
might know. Yeah,
the
Smiths
Smiths
might know.
might know. So maybe it's good to talk to them on the to-do list. Not necessarily this has to do with tonight's thing. Talk to them. Talk to potentially the archivist to get information about something specific right before this all happens, right? Trying to figure out what the weapon is, what they're using all the Arcanite for specifically, and potentially get that dude out because he might have information. Potentially, they said something about there's an artificer who's been supplying them with shit, disrupting that process in terms of we didn't see a lot of coin out today. I don't know about you guys, but like generally we saw way less than we normally would.
But the Mercy
they-
Killers have been real assholes. That's
Yeah,
what
the
Ben
Mer-
was telling me.
The Mercy Killers have not been what they should be. I think they're like gearing up. I think they're holding up and getting ready all the coin. If there's a way we can disrupt that, soon would be the time. There's
So
a lot of shit to do.
let's wait for Horse to show up. We can talk to him.
Is there anything while we're waiting that we could scry on or anything like that to try to gather information? Like scrying on something might work, or
I don't even
Trying
know
to
who
think of-
has the scry right now.
it's in no one's
It's in
attuned
the
to it.
bag.
Someone would have to sit and attune to it, like Gord would have to, probably. But we have an hour. I think we may as well. We should use it every day we just have to decide who the target is.
Try and spy on Kellic again, whatever that guy's name was.
Kellic Barrelbane.
Possibly. We do have one of his, like an item of his possession. I don't know if that helps.
It does. It makes it easier for you or harder on him, however you want to look at it.
Let's do it. Let's scry on him.
Okay. Is Gord going to do the scry?
I think he's the only one that could. Yeah, let's do it.
Mechanically, it doesn't change. It's just to know, in theory, this could put Valentine over the edge.
Yeah,
let's not do that.
Shouldn't get
even though
Valentine
it's,
to do it.
even though it's through an item, it still takes your mental focus.
10 minutes.
So as Gord is your other arcane practiced figure alongside Val,
I'll pull out the little folded over thing with the ring in it and pass it over to Gord.
scry. So it does take him, Gord, time to go through the ritual of attunement. In that time, you guys are able to kind of settle down and just prep your sails and have this conversation as Gord kind of focuses in on this.
At the same time, when we're waiting, could I try attuning to the sword?
Absolutely. What are you going to drop?
Yeah, great idea.
I have to drop Timor's Edge.
Okay.
It's my sword, like my very first cool magic item I got in this whole campaign. But I have to drop it.
Just put it with Heartbreaker.
Yep, easy enough. Again, you have to kind of focus in on this weapon. So over this last hour here, as Gord and Mary just kind of slip off, the rest of you just kind of, are able to eat and drink, and food has been brought up, and it's not particularly warm at this point. Doc brought up some food for Val and just some little stuff for the rest of you. But there's not a whole lot coming up now as the hour has grown quite late. As Gord is able to attune to the scrying orb, and Mary, you attune to affliction officially. As Gord takes another 10 minutes to cast the spell through the orb. But with the, what item do you have of Calyx?
We have his ring. His wedding ring.
The item will give you a possession or garment, which is a -4 to me. And you haven't met or are familiar. So basically, you've secondhand knowledge, although you have scryed on him before.
Seen him once
visual.
before, yeah.
You have visual, and you've talked to the wife and stuff. No, you don't have to do anything on D&D Beyond, because it's just going to be, you can roll back to your other stuff right after. It's just a weird thing where you have to attune to the orb to use the spell, and then you just have to reattune to your other shit whenever. So you don't have to do anything. It's just to talk about the time it takes, essentially. But you cast the spell and focus in on Kellic Barrelbane, wherever he may be at this hour in the night. A natural 1 is a save, is a fail no matter what.
Kelly.
But it works for you guys. As Gord, I don't know if Gord's ever done a scribe before, maybe once before, but
I think he did our last one.
You focus, probably did, because Val would have been there. You focus in, and for the second time, looking for Kellic Barrelbane. You watch the orb kind of fill with smoke and just this white gray smoke, and you feel your consciousness just drift into it, and it doesn't necessarily carry you out of that smoke and over a city and give you any more visual. You just see more and more smoke, and the smoke shifts in hue, and you can see just clouds of white and gray. And every now and again, you see this kind of flash that illuminates a vague shape with this purplish light in amongst the white and gray of the smoke cloud. You can see this looming figure and this spark of purple light that illuminates this large figure and a smaller one directly before us. You're kind of just shifting through this smoke illuminated by the purple. And then in a flash, you are on Kellic, sweat pouring down his brow. You can see deep bags under the eyes, and he is kind of limping and shifting, clearly exhausted. and he's working. You can see heavy, thick gloves that cover the hands and go all the way up to the elbows on both hands. And he's got tongs, almost like in working in a forge. He has some faint kind of eye covering, but it's just like a dark band with a slit to see through. But you can see sweat is just pouring over him, and his beard is singed. And the light isn't firelight. It is that purple light, and it is brilliantly bright on his face as you're so close with this scry. And he's focused and very carefully and meticulously. You can see his arms, his whole body kind of shifting and shaking, trying to move so gently with whatever it is he's doing. Go ahead and make a perception check, Gord, to see what you can see beyond him.
20.
20, okay. The orb's vision kind of just pulls out ever so slightly and shifts just to give you a better look at the scene. And you can see just a little bit more. And with each kind of spark and flash of this purple charged energy, you can see over Kellick's shoulder a tall, imposing figure, arms crossed across that tactical arcurite enhanced plate. You can see the stern alien face of the general watching about 10-15 feet away, kind of standing over, arms crossed, watching and waiting. You can just make him out as Kellick is shifting something with these tongs, and another spark of that purplish energy, and you watch it like creeps across the glove and creeps up his arm and into his shoulder, and you watch it just like sizzle like a lightning burn, but slow. And he just winces in pain, and the general just like shouts, "Home!" And you just watch Kellick just grinning and bearing it as he finally kind of twists one last thing, and you hear this click, this heavy acceptance of metal. And the light stops kind of sparking and just kind of illuminates the whole space in this faint lavender purple light. And Kellick just drops to his knees. And the general, just heavy thuds, just steps up behind him and pats his shoulder and says, "Clean yourself up." Just kind of pushes him off to the side. Where he kind of falls, you see the general take a couple steps forward, and Kellick kind of is watching with just a grimace of pain and hatred as the general puts a hand out towards this faint illumination beyond the hand. You can see this purple light in the heart of a metal, arcurite metal construction. And you hear the general once more, just kind of under his breath, almost to himself, forgetting Kellick is there, saying, "Just about." And the vision just shifts back into smoke, and you return to second chances.
Not good.
There is a rapid
Baron just slowly saunters to the door and opens it up.
And quickly you watch a small little figure rush into the room and see everybody pull the hood back with the bulging eyes of the frog-like Horus. He says, "Hey, you guys are alive. Right on."
Well, shit, you're not dead either. I'm going to be honest. I'm slightly surprised.
I'll never die. No. I got some news. Phantom's not going to come tonight. You guys got too much fucking attention on you. There's like 1,000 mercy killers everywhere. Like people are looking for you. You made yourselves too big. You shone too bright. Too much.
Yeah, it's a regular problem.
Yeah. So Phantom is all kind of spooked. However, we're still gonna do the thing. We're still cool. But we're just not, there's the reason I'm here and it's not Phantom.
Horace, we were hoping, do you guys have any connections with the Smiths?
Smiths, I don't know.
Do you think you could find out if Phantom does?
I mean,
Or
I
the
can
little-
go.
the
Yeah,
little
sure.
girl? Yeah.
I can ask. Yeah, I don't know if I'll get any answer from. We're not buddy. But I'll try. Sure, why not? Fuck it, I don't care.
So if you came here, is there something specific Phantom wanted you to ask about? Touch base?
Yeah. We're supposed to talk. We're supposed to discuss the plan. We're supposed to see what you guys are thinking. What you learn. What you do. What happened. What's the plan? What do you want us to blow up?
So,
Okay, let's start with. I just gotta make sure he's not bullshitting, and it's not like, Phantom actually wants something from us, and he's not just like, no, I still want to do it. Who cares if Phantom wants to do it or not? Like, I just want to make sure.
Sure, make an insight check.
It's sketchy as fuck. I'm sure it's fine, but it's a 28.
Phantom, you don't gather anything from Horus that Horus is lying. It seems that plan is to go forward as best as he knows, as best as you can tell from his knowledge. But the specifics, as much as you rolled well and you have a good insight into Horus, it's difficult to tell what Horus believes is true and what is actually true.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Horace, not tomorrow.
All right.
But the next day.
Okay.
The 18th?
Oh, sure. I don't know.
It's the 18th. That's what someone told me.
What's the 18th? What does that mean?
All right. So not tonight, not the next night.
Okay.
That day after. The day after tomorrow. Stay with me. That's when it's going down.
2 more sleeps, Horace.
Thank you. Okay, 2 sleeps and then
We don't know
blow
he
up?
could sleep at any moment. Yes.
2 more night times.
2
and
more
then
night
blood
times.
toast.
including this one.
Including this one.
Okay, so this nighttime.
Plus
then
one more
then
nighttime.
a daytime.
That's correct.
Yep.
Then a
Then
nighttime
another
again.
nighttime, and
that's
then
right.
another daytime.
And then another nighttime.
No,
And
because
then
right
probably-
when that nighttime hits, it's boom time.
Ah, okay. Since when did the days are numbered? Huh? Is that new?
That's something they told me about. Yeah.
All right, that's weird. Who numbers a day?
I don't know.
How
Why
do
is
you
it
know how many
18?
years things have been if you don't know how many days things have been? Are there seasons here?
What's a season?
Let's stay focused.
All right.
Just
Mr.
very
Blue,
confused by this place.
your, Papa, he has devised a plan of sorts.
All right.
You want to tell them about it? It involves a Ponzi scheme.
Okay, the Ponzi scheme
Wait,
is not
hold
the
on.
thing to lead with here.
I don't care
'Cause
about
I don't
Ponzi
know.
schemes. I want explosions.
So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Ponzi scheme is a cover for a big explosion. Mr. Blue.
Here's the thing. I don't care why.
Okay. There'll be an explosion in a warehouse, and you're invited.
Hey, there we go. Okay, where are we talking? Wait, what
That's what we want.
warehouse?
We want to know like a good coin warehouse that we can just fuck up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what Phantom sent me here for.
Okay.
That-
All right.
Here we go, here we go.
Here we go.
All right. So, there's a couple of good spots to hit that would cripple the organization, according
Great.
to Phantom.
Okay.
So, in the lower ward, there's a house that they do something in.
Okay.
Oh no.
That one, it would hit the money, right?
Hit the money. That's good. Okay.
Okay. There's
Come on down.
Do we know where
have
this lower
You have
house
this.
is?
Let him think of the other one.
Wait, what'd you say? No, you're right. Focus.
The other one.
Stash house.
Okay.
Then there's a dude's name and a hat.
Okay.
What was it?
Dude's name and a hat.
There's a dude's name and a hat. What kind of hats do people wear?
A top hat.
Nope.
Cap.
Nope.
Okay.
No. No. It was
Stedman.
A beret.
it's like a fancy.
A wizard.
Tricorn hat.
That sounds stupid. What's a tricorn hat?
That's
People
the
wear
thing he's
corn
wearing.
on their hair.
No, it's a tri.
Triple corn.
A pirate hat. I'm gonna Google types of hats. Legitimately, why am I so bad at thinking of hat names? What kind of hat does Hondo have? What kind of hat is that?
It's a tricorn hat.
It's like it's not like hat, but you wear it on your head.
Like a crown?
Crown.
Yeah, Victor's crown.
Oh,
Victor's
okay.
There we go. Good job, everybody. Victor's
Okay,
crown.
what is this though?
Oh, I don't. It's like a place.
Okay.
We can
It's
do
like
that. We can do that research. Don't worry.
Do we know why this would be
I
so?
know what it is. Just give me a second. Victor's crown, their victory crown. The victory crown, they win gold. It's a gambling place.
Casino.
It's like a place that they launder money. They
Okay,
launder
go
the
on.
coin, and they go and they drink. A lot of the guys go there. So you hit
Okay,
some guys
perfect.
off duty.
That's pretty good.
So that. Then there's the stash house, is the lower stash house in the lower ward.
Okay.
Then you got the alchemist. She's a real bitch.
Yeah,
I
we
remember
heard
that
about her.
one. She's got a place. If you hit, keep clear. I remember them saying that because it's gonna go up and it's gonna like.
Yeah.
There's a lot,
Where's
might
that?
have-
Do you know?
Phantom knows probably.
Okay.
So, we give the direction to you, and Phantom will know what to do.
That's the one.
Okay. Are there any of these places that you know where they are? That you could pass that information on to us in case, you guys do your splody shit, and maybe we'll do some other splody shit. Okay.
I know where another bar that they have is.
I
It's
like
like
these
a-
three a lot.
It's like a nice brothel.
Okay. But of these three things, you're not
Hondo
sure
leans in
as
his chair.
to exact, and it's fine if the answer is no. You're not sure as to exact location of any of these three things, so that potentially we could take one of those off your plate, and you guys could do the other one.
They're in the lower ward.
Right.
Great.
Actually, that's not true. Only the one is in the lower ward. The other two are in the hive.
The Victor's Crown's in the hive.
The
Great.
stash house is in the lower ward. The
That's the one.
archivist place and the Victor's Crown is in the hive.
Yeah, alchemist and Victor's crown in the hive, because that's where the guys go, and
Yep.
that's where the bitch is.
Yep.
And then lower stash house.
Lower
I think I
stash
know
house.
where that place is.
Maybe you should lead us there. That'd be fun.
Right now?
Not right now.
Whoa.
Sometime.
How far of a walk is that?
I mean, it's a couple
Area.
hours.
So what are we all thinking of? I feel like taking out the place where the I keep wanting to say arcanist, and that's not the right word.
Alchemist.
Alchemist, where the alchemist is. If it's in the hive, you explode that and potentially a bunch of shit around it. That sounds great. What do we think about getting them to do that one? Because we don't know where it is.
If they're willing.
And
I
then
think
we
that's
take
great.
out the stash house. Not necessarily even at the same time. If Hondo wants to do this ahead of time show of force, we could fuck up the stash house ahead of time.
That's what I think. Stash house tomorrow. They could work on the alchemist, and we could do the casino too. But we don't want. We do the stash house quiet, like.
Wait, are we
like
hitting these
explosion.
tomorrow?
No. Don't you worry, horse. Don't you worry. Remember the plan. 2 sleep, 2 nighttime.
But tomorrow's sooner.
Would you want to come with us to do the stash house? It's just not the big one.
Ooh, are you gonna blow it up?
Not maybe blow it up. We want that to be quiet.
What are you gonna do?
Just like steal all the money.
Ooh, yeah.
Well,
Okay.
there might be blowing up involved. We have to figure out if
Ooh.
it's a statement or if it's just slowly fucking them up.
But we don't want to do the explosion and then people think this is the time to do the uprising.
Yeah, you're right.
No, he's not. Blow it up.
But we haven't put out the newspaper article, so we could do it tomorrow and then do
You're
another
doing
one.
advertising for your explosions, aren't they just gonna clear out?
Listen, you have to market your brand.
We're anarchists. We don't do that.
That's coming from
That's
the
why you
wrong
brought in
Scott
the
Micklejohn
specialist.
voice character. Marketing is Valentine's purview.
He's not good at it. I think we do the stash house tomorrow.
I'm in.
Dope. I feel like you're very cool and calm under pressure, so you will be an asset to the team.
Absolutely. Midnight stash house. I'll meet you there.
Sounds great. Tell
All
Phantom, Victor's Crown, you guys blow it up.
Whoa, the Victor's Crown or the...
I lied. You guys do the Alchemist.
We could probably
want-
do both.
Sure, do it.
I mean,
Here's a question.
Start with the Alchemist so you get the big one, and then hit up the casino.
oh, sorry. He was saying do them at the same time if we're gonna do it. So you
Oh,
do
sure, do
two
it.
two big booms.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I would do that too.
If it's more just like these are the 3 points you want to hit. Do you want to hit them all?
Yeah.
Or okay, so you guys are gonna do the stash house
Ahead of
That's
time.
tomorrow,
That's right.
and then 2 sleeps. When the
And
sun changes,
boom, boom.
we blow the Alchemist and the
And the
Crown.
casino. That's right.
And when that happens, you guys are gonna be doing that and causing a lot of fucking chaos. And then we're gonna be going and doing what we need to do.
All right. I like it. I'm on board.
But you want to come to Lower Ward tomorrow?
I will meet you at the stash house tomorrow at midnight.
Dope.
Okay, here's
Great.
the thing though. You gotta remember, we don't know where the stash house is. So where are we meeting you?
At the stash house.
Yes, I understand that, but can you give us some directions?
I guess I could meet at the.
Do you want to meet here? We could give you some baked goods, and then we could meet there. You could lead us there.
Okay. All right.
Do
All
you
right.
want to meet us on the way?
Nah, he'll meet us here. We'll get him some of that bakery that you and Brawley went to.
Yeah, here's fine, but we got to meet earlier than midnight. I'll be here at like 11.
Great.
Does it take an hour to get there?
No, it's like 4 hours.
Okay, so how about we meet at like 9:30?
That's so early.
I understand, but if you want, midnight's like a big flashy time to fuck some shit up.
I know, but I gotta sleep.
Okay.
Gotta
when do
sleep
you-
sometime.
Oh no, you
You
sleep.
sleep, and then these will be so fresh. The sooner you get here when you wake up, the fresher those donuts will be.
I'm gonna be so tired.
I know, but we'll have coffee too.
All right, fine.
We'll see you tomorrow
fine,
night at some
fine.
point. You'll show up.
I better get to shed some blood.
Listen, look at that other blue one over there.
He looks over at Hondo. Just does
You're
one
gonna
of
shit.
pinky promise we will shed blood.
Oh, you guarantee, man.
All right.
I expect rivers through the city.
Ooh, rivers.
Jesus, I actually don't promise that.
He said it. It's binding. It's a pinky promise. No going back now.
It's the biggest magic there is. You've done good work here tonight, Horace. Remember, go tell your boss, Phantom. He's not your boss, your associate.
Hey, he's kind of my boss. It's true.
All right.
It's fair. He's like levels
Yeah,
above me
it's
in
fine.
terms of authority.
Casino, Victor's Crown.
Victor's Crown,
And that,
Alchemist,
2
at the
sleeps.
same time, 2 sleeps. Sundown, boom.
That's
Got it. All right.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Something's different in here.
Hi, Horace. I'm alive now.
Something's definitely different.
I was dead previously, and now I'm alive. Horace, we met the first night.
I gotta go. Hey, just turns. Makes his way out.
So he's still strange, eh? Still very strange.
Quirky.
He seems to like you a lot. That pinky promise seems so familiar.
You know, he's a fellow rapscallion like myself.
Yeah, certainly a fellow of yours.
All at the same time, things are all happening. You hear.
Yeah, I'll go open the window. I didn't want to do it in front of Horace.
Who's that?
As you make your way over to the southwest window, there is this raven just kind of tapping at the window. And as you kind of swing it open, and immediately just Mordenkainen's standing before you and looks at you, Mary, and says, I said, open the window.
Yeah, there was someone here, and I just wanted to make sure.
You could have opened it before. I've been out watching, waiting. I know who Horace is.
Do we know this guy?
Yeah,
Kind of looks in at you with the glaive. Nobody else reacted. Settle down.
All right.
Look, I've been on the move a lot. On the run. I can give you 5 minutes.
It's okay. Shit's happening. We have a way out, but it's not going to work unless we do something for the lady first.
And that thing is?
Taking out the fucking general.
Well, you're already planning to do that anyway, so.
Exactly. But I'm just saying our way out's not going to work until that's complete.
All right.
So if you want help on the way out, we're probably going to get the fuck out of Dodge basically immediately after that's done. So you'll need to be in that general area. Potentially always out. That would be great. Not even necessarily in the same room as us, but in the general vicinity.
Well, if I can keep my head above water for the next however long you need, if I show myself, I can bring down a little bit of a concordant army upon us. Now, they'll be trying to kill everybody. That includes you.
If you show
up,
up
it's a good
in
distraction.
Yeah. In 2 nights, that's their plan. I'm still going to be bedridden. Nice to see you again.
Yeah,
in 2 nights, they're doing it 2 sleeps.
That last part was unnecessary. I understand what
Yeah,
nights
like 2
are.
nights. Yeah. Just bringing the party through the hive.
Are you making a play at the garrison house or somewhere specific?
It's somewhere specific that we need more recon on. It seems like the general has some sort of like underground weapon he's been working on. I assume that's at the garrison house, but not
The
sure.
garrison house, I have, oddly enough, taken a little bit of, I've literally traveled every inch of this city in the last couple of days, just keeping a move. I made my way around the garrison house a little bit, just out of curiosity and to keep myself away from harm. There are multiple buildings in the outpost. It's not a singular home, although there is the garrison house proper. There's a tall, strong wall surrounding the compound. Multiple outbuildings, multiple towers, multiple places for sniper positions. It's well guarded, constantly, actively. One barrack and housing that could, in theory, be large enough for a project that you're speaking of, but it's outside the garrison house. Though, that being said, beneath the garrison house certainly lies a vault and dungeons and other elements of its former purpose.
We have ways of, or so they told me, being ethereal and getting down below or getting into a place that would otherwise be hard to. Being ethereal, less etherealness. You know what I mean?
I do.
So yeah.
So
I don't know if we use that to get in, or I don't know if we use that to get out.
Well, if I know anything about someone as prepared as this figure, etherealness will only get you so far. Don't expect it to carry the full way. Even simple spells such as walls can impede ethereal travel. And those could be across any window and door with enough power. And a place known as the vault is where I'd keep anything of particular note.
Yeah, we said it was behind walls or behind shielded doors or something like that, so that's probably where it is.
It at least gets you in somewhere. And then you'll have to figure it out from there. But you guys work on your toes pretty well. You'll find a way.
We're gonna try and touch base with the Smiths. It's like tiny little resistance group.
Heard very little through the grapevine.
They're in the hive. They might have like a way in or know somewhere that we could figure out.
That's good to know.
We'll do that tomorrow.
Have you heard of anything called the Miser Drake's Rest? Or a Miser Drake?
I've heard of the Miser Drake from my time here.
What is it?
It's not an it. It was a dragon. His name was the Syrinx, the Great Miser. The former use of the garrison house prior, when I was in the city, was a bank. The Miser Drake, the Great Miser Thesirix, was a former caretaker and, well, caretaker of the wealth and treasure of the people of the city, not necessarily by their choice. And he had a pretty well protected lair and hoard.
In the lower ward.
In the hive.
In the hive. You, you said did deceased now?
Given the fact that you're calling it the Miser Drake's Rest.
Right. But we're no idea so far of where that resting place might be.
This is the first I'm hearing of it. I just know the name, the Great Miser. The Syrinx was a powerful dragon and a force to be reckoned with. But that's some several hundred years ago.
Right.
Could have died by natural causes, could have died and the general overtook such a hold.
Could have died and been reanimated or something.
Certainly possible.
Oh, shit. What if it was reanimated and put a bunch of plates on it and brought it back to life? Great, that's potential. Okay, good to keep an eye out for that. We also need to figure out where the fuck it was left or buried. Maybe it's just flat out underneath wherever the fuck that is again.
Probably the vault. That's probably where he's keeping it all.
Well, we don't... Yeah. It's in the hive. Do you know where? In
Garrison
relation to the garrison?
house.
It is in the garrison house, okay.
Garrison
Sorry.
House used to be a bank.
Gotcha. Sorry. My headphones died. I am like listening on shitty computer speakers, so I'm very sorry if I asked anyone to repeat things.
It's okay, we're wrapping up.
Morning, Kynan. Could I have my earring back and we could find another way to get in contact with you?
If you want to, sure, it's yours. Toss it to you.
Think.
At the very least, I won't necessarily know your plan unless you have other ways of contacting. But in 2 nights from now, if I see action going on at the garrison house, I'll bring some of my own.
That sounds perfect.
Deal.
And then we can get out of here together.
That sounds perfect.
All right, well, don't bring them here. Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm on the move. And he just immediately turns into a raven out the window. And with
Tomorrow
that
night.
flurry of movement and that series of vision to conversation, that's where we will finish tonight's episode. We can have a couple of moments of conversation there, or we can pick up in the morning following the next game. It's up to you guys, as always. That is it for now.